Be me, 28-year-old female, happily married to the love of my life, 27-year-old male. Together for 6 years, married for 4, 2 beautiful daughters, 3-year-old female and almost 1-year-old female. My husband is everything I ever wanted, kind, loving, supportive, amazing father. He's my rock and I'm head over heels for him every single day. Our relationship feels perfect, a dream come true. Best part of every day is falling asleep in his arms. Also have a best friend, 28-year-old female, who's been in my life for over a decade. We're basically sisters. She's been there for every major life event. She helped me pick out my wedding dress, was there when I had my daughters, even told her after my 3rd date with my husband, I'm going to marry him. Trusted her completely, couldn't imagine life without her. Last weekend, decided to host a backyard barbecue with friends. Beautiful day, husband is at the grill, everyone laughing and having fun. Food's almost ready, we all sit down at the table. Husband heads inside to use the bathroom and grab more beer. Didn't notice my best friend quietly following him inside. A few minutes later, husband comes back outside looking visibly upset, asks to talk to me privately, immediately tells me something happened and he needs to be honest. Says my best friend kissed him. Not just kissed him, forcibly kissed him. She hid behind the wall near the kitchen, jumped out and pulled him in for a kiss. He immediately pushed her away and yelled, "What the f?" She started crying and ran out of the house like she was the victim. My heart sinks, feel like the ground is collapsing under me. Somehow managed to keep it together and tell him we'll talk after everyone leaves. Spend the next couple hours smiling and chatting with guests like nothing happened. Inside I'm breaking apart. Feel angry, betrayed, confused. Once everyone leaves, husband sits me down and tells me everything again. He's shaken but calm, explains every detail. Says he didn't want to hide anything from me. Even shows me the footage from our living room camera. Is exactly as he said. She initiated it and he pushed her away immediately. Feel sick to my stomach watching the footage. Can't believe someone I trusted so deeply could betray me like this. This is my best friend, someone I've treated like family for over a decade. She's been auntie to my daughters, a constant presence in our lives, and she tried to kiss my husband, the man I love more than anything. Keep replaying it in my mind, her choice to cross this line, knowing what it would do. Next day she shows up unannounced at my house, says she wants to talk. As soon as I see her, rage boils over, want to physically attack her. Husband holds me back and tells her she's not welcome here anymore. She starts crying again, but neither of us care. Husband slams the door in her face. It's been almost a week and I still feel like I'm drowning. Spend every night lying on my husband's chest, crying my eyes out. He's been amazing through all of this, so patient and supportive. Keeps reassuring me that I've done nothing wrong, and neither has he. Brings me flowers almost every day, cooks my favorite meals, does everything he can to make me feel better. I don't blame him at all. He's completely innocent and handled it perfectly. But I feel so broken. This isn't just about losing my best friend, it's about losing trust. If someone I treated like a sister could do this, how can I trust anyone else? Think about all the times I confided in her, all the moments we shared. She was there for my wedding, for the births of my daughters. She was part of my life in every way. Now I can't even think about her without feeling a wave of anger and pain. My husband is doing everything he can to help me heal. He's been my anchor through this storm, reminding me of the love we share. But I can't shake the betrayal, the sense of loss. Don't know how to move forward, how to trust again. Just trying to take it one day at a time, holding on to the love we've built. Be me, 44-year-old male. Been off the dating scene for 5 years, working on myself. Life is good, but I wouldn't mind having someone to share it with. Decide to give Facebook dating a shot. Match with a few girls, send some messages, exchange numbers. Finally work up the courage to ask a girl out. We agree for me to pick her up, but she changes her mind. No problem. I get it, I think. She's being cautious. We decide to meet at a place instead at 7:30. I arrive at the restaurant, no big deal. Get a text. I'm running late. Okay, no biggie. What time you thinking? She says 7:45, so I wait a bit. 15 minutes go by and I get another text. Let's meet at 8:30 instead. I'm frustrated, but I'm literally walking distance from the place. Alright, fine. I'll go back at 8:30. Go back, it's 8:30, she's there. Awesome. At least she showed up. We sit down and start talking. Immediately feel something's off. Wasn't what I expected, but I try to be polite. She starts complimenting me, tells me I'm handsome and smell good. That's nice, I guess. But then she starts touching my hand, trying to make physical contact. I'm not a fan of that kind of pushiness, but whatever. I try to let it slide. Turns out she's in the middle of a divorce, living with her ex, has 4 kids, no job, no prospects, Just moved in her nephew, who has a meth problem that they're trying to help. I'm like, okay, this is a lot. But I try to stay polite, thinking it might get better. Meal ends, I figure it's time to wrap things up. Tell her I need to get going, I have work tomorrow. It's 10:30, so it's pretty late. She insists on inviting me to her place. Nope, not even close to happening. She keeps trying to make physical contact, which is starting to annoy me now. I'm getting out of there, but she's pouting like a child when I open her car door for her. I get in my car and head home. Feel weird, like something's off about this whole thing. On my way home, I notice her car is behind me. Okay, maybe she lives on the way to mine. I take a turn, she turns. That's odd, but maybe it's just a coincidence. Take another turn, she turns again. Okay, what the hell is going on here? Start to feel like she's following me. Take a turn toward a store near my house, pull in. She follows me and parks right next to me. Hey stranger, she says, with this weird smirk. I'm like, hey, what is happening? Tell her I'm just here to grab some shaving cream. I'm not good at thinking on my feet like this. She just stands there smiling at me. I tell her to get home safe and practically run into the store. Thank God she finally leaves. Next day I'm working. At f***ing work, trying to focus. My phone starts blowing up. 24 texts, 9 missed calls. This is insane, I'm at work. Can't focus, can't breathe. What the hell's going on? Why is she acting like this? No idea how to handle this. This whole thing feels like a nightmare. Seriously, this is the worst day ever. Feeling like I made a huge mistake. Can't even enjoy work without her blowing up my phone. Sorry if my grammar is off. This is on my phone and my mind is all over the place. Just wanted to vent. If this is what dating is, you can effing have it. Be me, flying to Canada for a trip a few years ago. Pretty excited for the vacation, not a fan of flying but whatever. Boarding the plane, find my seat, settle in. Everything's going fine at first, just enjoying the flight. Midway through the flight, I'm knocked out, finally getting some sleep. Suddenly get woken up by constant kicking against the back of my seat. Groggily look around, thinking it's a kid. Ignore it, probably just an accident. Happens sometimes, right? But then the kicking doesn't stop. It's like the person is purposefully trying to push my seat forward. This keeps going on for like 5 minutes straight. Turn around, fully awake now, and see a dude in his mid-20s. Dude has headphones on, clearly not caring about the whole situation. Ask him politely, hey, can you stop kicking my seat? He looks at me for a second and then smirks. Hear him and his friend snickering in some language I don't recognize. They all seem to think it's funny. The guy just shrugs and doesn't say anything, kicks my seat again. My patience is running low. Figure I'll just let it slide for a little longer. Maybe he'll stop. He doesn't. At this point, I'm seriously annoyed. Can't focus on anything but the damn kicking. Look around for a way to get back at him. Then I spot my water bottle, sitting innocently in the cup holder. Light bulb goes off in my head. He wants to mess with me. Alright, I'll mess with him back. Quietly reach for my water bottle. Slowly unscrew the cap, trying not to make any noise. Raise it just enough so that it's above the backpack sitting under my seat. Then I slowly start pouring it, just enough to soak the top of the backpack. Hear a soft splashing sound as the water hits. Now I just sit back, acting like nothing happened. Feel like a genius, my heart racing a bit with anticipation. Flight goes on, kicking stops for a while. Guess he doesn't notice yet. Finally the plane starts descending, and I can tell we're about to land. Guy stands up to gather his stuff. I hear him muttering to his friends. He bends down to grab his backpack. Suddenly he freezes. I can hear him curse under his breath. He opens the flap of his backpack, and I hear him freak out. What the hell? The dude starts looking around in panic, clearly not happy about the situation. All his stuff is soaked. I try to keep a straight face, acting like I'm not paying attention. His friends start asking him what happened. He's freaking out even more now. He looks over at me for a split second, but I'm just staring straight ahead, pretending nothing's wrong. Land, get off the plane. Can still hear him grumbling in the terminal, talking about his ruined backpack, feeling like a goddamn mastermind. Sometimes justice comes in the form of a water bottle, satisfying as hell. Be me, bored as hell, no hobbies, nothing to do. Used to mess around on Omegle for fun, mostly trolling or laughing at weirdos. One day, stumble onto webcam sites out of curiosity. Let's see what the fuss is about. Wasn't planning to do anything crazy. Dudes in chat immediately start hyping me up. Damn, you're hot. You're perfect. Show more. Kind of flattering, honestly. End up showing a little skin, just for laughs. They go absolutely nuts. Dude straight up jerking it from a glimpse of my chest. Shocking at first, but also thrilling. Feel this weird rush of power. Like these guys are completely at my mercy. Realize I like the attention way more than I should. Love hearing strangers worship me, begging for more. It starts off small, just once or twice for the rush, but I keep coming back, more and more. Doesn't even take much effort. A tease, a little movement, and they're done for. Every time I think about stopping, the thrill pulls me back in. No, it's weird, maybe even wrong. Guilt starts creeping in after every session. Why am I even doing this? What's wrong with me? But then I remember the rush, the compliments, the way they make me feel like I'm irresistible. Can't get enough of it, even though it's starting to mess with my head. Feel trapped, like I'm stuck in this loop. Love the power and validation. Hate the guilt afterward. Start telling myself it's not a big deal. It's harmless. I'm just behind a screen. No one's getting hurt. But deep down, I know it's not healthy. Don't want to stop though. Addicted to the thrill, the attention, the control. Maybe I'll quit someday, but I know I probably won't. Be me, 25 male, been with my girlfriend, 22 female for a few years. Relationship seemed perfect at first, no red flags, but then she starts pressuring me to get married and have kids. Not ready for that kind of commitment. Make it clear to her. Keep saying I'm not ready. I'm still figuring things out in my life. She doesn't listen, keeps bringing it up, starts acting like I'm the problem for not wanting to take the relationship to the next level. Feels suffocated and stressed, but I'm trying to be patient. Fast forward a few weeks. Something feels off. Can't put my finger on it. One day, after doing the deed, I go to the bathroom and see something strange. A condom is torn. Weird. We've never had a problem with that before. Just chalk it up to a weird accident. Maybe I ripped it without realizing. A few days later, it happens again. Condom is torn again. Now I'm suspicious as hell. Start paying more attention, thinking back to the conversations we've had. She keeps talking about kids and marriage like it's some kind of ticking time bomb. I'm starting to feel like there's more to this. Next time we're about to get down, I decide to check the condom before using it. Find tiny holes poked in the tip of the condom. My jaw literally drops. WTF moment of the century. I'm shocked, angry, hurt, and confused all at once. Can't even believe it. This wasn't just a mistake. She was doing this on purpose. Confront her about it immediately. She tries to downplay it, says she just wanted to speed things up. I know you're hesitant about having kids, but I really want to have a family with you. Excuse me, what? She says it like it's a casual thing, like poking holes in condoms is a normal relationship strategy. Tell her that's manipulative and seriously messed up. She tries to play the victim and say I'm overreacting. I'm beyond pissed at this point. Trust is shattered. Can't even look at her the same way anymore. Can't believe I've been with someone who would do something so deceitful and manipulative. Not only is she pressuring me into something I'm not ready for, but now she's actively trying to trap me into it. I tell her it's over. I can't be with someone who doesn't respect my boundaries and thinks that kind of manipulation is okay. She starts crying, says she'll change, says she'll wait, but it's too late. Once the trust is broken, there's no going back. I leave, cut off contact, block her on everything. Mutual friends are texting me, saying I overreacted. It's just a little thing. You didn't have to break up over that. Maybe she was just trying to make you happy, dude. Some are calling me harsh, telling me I should have worked things out. I don't care. Not a single ounce of doubt in my mind. She violated my trust in the worst way possible. She could have just talked to me, but no, she chose to manipulate me instead. A few weeks later, I'm still feeling a little rattled, but honestly, I know I did the right thing. Don't have to deal with that constant pressure anymore. It's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Dodged a bullet, no doubt about it. Learned that trust is everything in a relationship, and if it's broken, it's not worth fixing. Can't believe I ever thought about marrying her. Moral of the story, always trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't let anyone pressure you into something you're not ready for. And for the love of God, always check your condoms before using them. Be me, 30 male, dating amazing 27 female for a couple of months. She's living at home with her mom to help out after they lost their dad a couple of years ago. Her 16-year-old sister lives there too. Don't really know her sister well, but want to make a good impression on my girlfriend's family. Like my girlfriend a lot, so I'm trying to be helpful and supportive. Girlfriend calls, asks if I can pick her sister up and take her home. Her normal ride fell through, and both my girlfriend and her mum are working. Think, sure, why not just being a good boyfriend? Agree to do it, figure it's no big deal. How wrong I was. Pick her up, she gets in the car, starts talking a lot, way more than I expected. Compliments me constantly, starts to feel a little weird. Then she rubs my arm while I'm driving. Awkward laugh, tell her not to do that while I'm driving. Hoping it's just teenage awkwardness, try to brush it off. Get to their house, I need to use the restroom. Figure I'll be in and out, then head out to run errands. Come out of the bathroom, she's waiting for me. Asks me to stay and watch a movie with her. Tell her I have things to do, so I can't. Then she drops the bomb. Says she wants to do other things with me. Full panic mode. Tell her straight up that's not appropriate. Remind her that I'm dating her sister and I'm way too old for her. Instead of backing off, she doubles down. Says she wouldn't tell anyone if I didn't. Immediate oh hell no moment. Tell her I'm leaving and walk out without looking back. Sit in my car feeling gross and uncomfortable. Call my girlfriend right away, explain everything that just happened. Tell her I'm not comfortable giving her sister rides anymore or being alone with her. Wasn't sure if I should even say anything, but figured it was better to be honest. Girlfriend is upset, but says she appreciates how I handled it. Still, the conversation was awkward as hell. Feel weird the rest of the day. Not used to women being that forward, let alone a teenager almost half my age. Whole thing is so wrong and uncomfortable. Update. Girlfriend texts me later, says her sister was stoned during the whole thing. Apparently, she's been caught using weed a lot lately. Family's had a rough time since losing their dad, and the sister's been acting out. Girlfriend had a huge argument with her when she got home and found out. Feel bad for the kid in a way. She's clearly struggling, but that doesn't make what she did okay. Still can't shake how weird the situation was. Be me, 40 female, married to 41 male for 6 years. Thought we had a solid relationship. We're not perfect, but who is? Husband starts acting strange a few months ago, accusing me of cheating randomly. Who's that texting you? Why are you late from work? Tiff, are you talking about, bro? I went to Tesco for milk. Tell him he's being ridiculous. I'm loyal as hell. Never even thought about messaging another man since our first date. He doesn't believe me. Starts checking my phone constantly. Feel violated but have nothing to hide, so let it slide. Huge mistake. One day, he snoops through my old emails while I'm in the shower. Comes storming into the room, phone in hand. What the hell is this? He's found a message from 16 years ago. 16 years ago. 10 years before we even met. It's a conversation with a mechanic. Back when I was broke and desperate. Sent him nudes to cover the cost of fixing my car. Cringe about it now, but it was a low point in my life. Husband acts like I've personally cheated on him yesterday. Calls me a whore. Disgusting. Can't be trusted. He's absolutely losing it over something that happened in a different decade. I snap back. Call him insane. This isn't about me, is it? You're projecting because you're the one doing something shady. He deflects, calls me crazy, storms out. Can't deal with the toxic vibes anymore. Pack a bag, go stay with my sister for a few days. Sister listens, tells me he's being ridiculous. Try to focus on other things and clear my head. Few days later, driving near her house, spot his car in the parking lot of a Premier Inn. Weird, because he told me he was working late. My gut says something's up. Park nearby and wait, phone in hand. 3 hours later, he finally comes out. Not alone. Holding hands with another woman. They're laughing and talking like nothing's wrong. Walk up to them. What the hell is this? Husband's name. He freezes. Looks like he's seen a ghost. Stammers something about thinking we'd split up. Woman looks confused. What are you talking about? Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Realize she has no clue I exist. Husband panics, mumbles something incoherent, and runs. Legit sprints like a child avoiding consequences. Stand there dumbfounded. Turn to the woman, explain who I am. She's horrified, starts crying. Tells me they've been seeing each other for over a year. He told her he was separated and living with his religious parents. Said they couldn't go to his house because it was awkward with the family. She had no idea he was lying. Feel bad for her. She's young and seems genuinely sweet. End up hugging and consoling her. Give her a ride home. Go back to my house, pack up all his stuff. Text him that it's over and he can come pick his things up when I'm not there. He shows up the next day, begging and crying. It was just one time, I swear. Tell him I literally caught him cheating with a woman who thought she was his girlfriend. Also remind him he accused me of cheating for months. Laugh in his face when he tries to spin it back on me. He finally leaves, moves back in with his parents. His mum calls me, apologizing profusely for his behavior. His parents are religious and ashamed of him. They've been super supportive of me, oddly enough. Start divorce proceedings immediately. Lawyer says it'll take about a year to finalize. No contact with him unless absolutely necessary. Feel relief for the first time in months. Realize I've been carrying the weight of his insecurity and guilt for too long. Moral of the story, trust your instincts. If someone's accusing you with no evidence, there's probably something they're hiding. Be me, 32 male, married to my wife, 31 female, for 7 years. We have 3 beautiful children. Life's been great. I love her more than anything. She's my world. Been happily married. Things have been going smoothly. We've always had a strong bond, been through a lot together, and I genuinely think we were in a good place. One day we're at a party with some friends. My single friend starts talking about relationships, love and dating. He's complaining about the people he's dated, all about their looks. I'm feeling a little drunk at this point, and we start discussing what makes someone attractive. I drunkenly say, "You don't fall in love with looks. Look at me and my wife. I love her more than anything compared to my ex, who is just looks." Instant silence in the room. No one knows what to say. Immediately realize I f***ed up, but I'm too drunk to fix it. Just sit there awkwardly. Silence is deafening. I try damage control, saying I didn't mean it like that, but it just makes it worse. I'm panicking now, but the damage is already done. My wife is shocked. She doesn't know what to say either. Things get tense and weird the rest of the night. I keep trying to explain myself, but every time I speak, it just makes her more upset. At that moment, I felt like I was so misunderstood. But looking back, I realize I said something that's been in my head, something I shouldn't have said. Drunk me thought it was an innocent comment, but it wasn't. That night, I feel like I've damaged something I can't repair. The first week after the incident, she's angry, distant, and keeps asking me what I meant. No matter how many times I try to explain, it's never enough. "You were drunk, so it was just the truth coming out," she says. I keep apologizing, but it feels like nothing is working. Then one morning, she turns to me and says, "You know, I've never felt as ugly as I have felt this past week. I've always thought I was beautiful." She says it calmly, but I can hear the hurt in her voice. She doesn't cry this time, but there's no emotion in her eyes. It's the first time I've ever seen her look at me like that. My heart sinks. I immediately start crying, apologizing, begging for forgiveness, but she just stares at me, emotionless. It's like a switch has been flipped and nothing I say can turn it back on. After that, everything changed. She started acting differently, almost like I'm a stranger to her. She's distant with me, only engaging when absolutely necessary. She's colder, more guarded, and I feel like I'm losing her more every day. She's become so busy with the kids, her family, friends, and her hobbies. She spends hours working out, sometimes 6 to 7 days a week. The worst part is she doesn't even have time for me anymore. Before, we'd always spend time together, just us. Now if she's not with the kids, she's off with her friends or family, or buried in a book. She's always got headphones on, never engaging in conversation. It's like she's avoiding me. She stopped being physically affectionate too. She always sleeps fully clothed, even in bed. It feels like she's shutting me out completely. Even in the bathroom, she locks the door when she showers. It's like she's building walls around herself, and I don't know how to get past them. She's more active on social media now too, posting more pictures of herself, showing off her body, pictures in workout gear, sports bras, tights. She's thanking everyone who compliments her. Before, she'd post pictures with our kids or just our pets, but now it's only about her. I feel so distant from her now. The wife I knew and loved is slipping away. It's like I broke her and now I don't know how to fix it. The first time I really felt like I lost her was when she changed how she looked at me. I tried talking to her, but she's so distant, so withdrawn. It's like she doesn't want me anymore. Nothing I do feels right, no matter how many times I apologize. I can't help but think that I've destroyed everything we had. The woman I married is still there, but she's changed. She's become someone I don't recognize. The love I thought was invincible is now fragile, like glass. I've hurt her in ways I can't take back, and she's not the same. I don't know what to do to make this right. I can't even explain how much I regret what I said. I would give anything to go back and undo that moment, but I can't. I just want to make her feel loved again. But she's so far away, and I don't think I can reach her anymore. I'm not sure this marriage is fixable. I feel hopeless and lost. I've broken the person I love more than anything, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't think I can. Be me, manager of a team of analysts, hiring for an open role in my department. Get an application from a guy who's been working in the warehouse for a year. Not a technical position, just been moving boxes around. Normally we wouldn't consider someone for an analytical role with that kind of background, but we always try to give internal candidates a shot, especially when they've been around the company for a while and know the culture. I decide to take a look at his resume anyway, just to be fair. Starts reading and holy crap. Dude is super qualified. All his past analytical roles were back in his home country. His work was all done in developing country not known for producing analysts, and in a language that's not English. Not an easy thing to translate or get noticed for in the global job market. But still, his skills are on point, and it's clear he knows his stuff. I start chatting with my team about him. They also like him, say he's been picking up a lot of useful knowledge in the warehouse this past year. Seems like a good fit, but HR can be a little iffy about salary increases when people move roles internally. I'm not going to let that slide though. I'm pushing for a fair offer. I know he deserves it. I go to HR and lay it out for them. I'm pushing hard, telling them not to lowball him. I make the case that we need to retain good internal talent, and this guy's clearly a diamond in the rough. HR gets a little tense but agrees to work with me. They give me a soft confirmation, but let slip that his new salary will actually be double what he's making now. This makes me feel even better about the decision. Guy's gonna be ecstatic, and I'm pumped to see him get this opportunity. Schedule the verbal offer call for today. Call him up and tell him the good news. He's quiet for a moment. I think he's processing it, maybe trying to figure out if I'm messing with him. Then, he just blurts out a huge yes. He didn't even hesitate for a second. I hear him freaking out in the background, clearly so stoked. It's the best feeling ever. I'm grinning like an idiot on the phone. I tell him the next steps and that the paperwork will be sent over soon. He thanks me over and over, says he's been dreaming about moving into a role like this for years. I'm going to go celebrate right now. This is unreal, he says. I can already picture him out at a bar somewhere, buying drinks for his friends and family. I'm genuinely so happy for him. Not even going to lie, I'm pretty proud of this moment. The fact that I got to help someone like that is one of the best parts of my job. I'm sure his friends and family are also celebrating his big win today. I've never had this much fun hiring someone. This is what makes my job worth it. Tomorrow's going to be interesting though. He might be a little hungover. Warehouse efficiency might be down, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for someone's happiness. Can't wait to see how he thrives in the new role and how much he grows with us. Feel like a proud mentor right now. This is the kind of success story that makes you appreciate the little things in life. Super stoked for his future and super stoked for mine too, since I get to work with him. Long story short, doubled someone's salary. Helped an incredibly qualified guy move up in his career. Feel like $1 million too. Be me, 24M, meet someone 32F about 6 months ago. Meet at a bar completely by chance. Only planned on staying for a quick drink and chatting with my friend who works there. End up staying until the bar closed, hanging out with her instead. Vibe was instant. We exchanged info. Said we had a great time and should meet again. Next day she texts me, then calls me on my lunch break. We really hit it off. I ask her out for a bite and a drink that night. She says yes. The night goes well. She asks me if I want to join her at her place. Gladly accept. Things are looking good. This continues for about a month. After about a month, I ask her to be my girlfriend. She says she really likes me, but isn't sure if we can do long term. Tells me she just got out of a 5-year relationship about 6 months ago. Says things are different now. Doesn't go into too much detail, and I respect that. Also mentions she feels a bit strange about our age gap and that I work a lot. I tell her I'm okay with whatever pace she needs and that we can continue doing what we've been doing. She's happy with that, so we keep going. A couple months pass, still not official, but doing everything else couples do. We're not seeing other people, just not labeling it. We're at a bar one night. She looks at me with those big eyes and asks, "Are you my boyfriend?" I laugh a little. "Well, I think that's your call." We both laugh. She gives me a hug and a kiss. Then she says, "I would like that." I'm absolutely thrilled. I've been so into her. This is amazing. A couple more months pass. We've done so much together already. Concerts, shows, parties, pumpkin patches, road trips, sick days, you name it. Just living life together. I feel so lucky. One day we're driving around town, shopping and eating, just talking like we always do. She stares at me for a moment. I look at her and ask yes. She takes a deep breath, looks at me and says, "I love you and you make me happy." My heart skips a beat. I had been thinking that I loved her for a couple of weeks, but didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable. I wrap my hand around the back of her head and tell her, "I love you too, and I count myself blessed that we met." She smiles so big, and it feels like everything just clicked. We both know we're on the same page. Now we're planning to meet each other's families for the holidays. This is real. This is serious. I'm so happy with her, and we're just getting started. Thanks for reading my little story. Just wanted to share this because I've been really enjoying my time with her. Feels good to share life with someone like this. Be me, sitting at a coffee shop, enjoying my coffee, working on my laptop, just trying to relax a bit. Notice a really attractive woman walk in. She's got this confident vibe, walking with purpose. She looks around for a seat, and then she looks at me, makes eye contact, and then she asks if she can sit next to me. I'm taken aback for a second, but I'm like, of course, go ahead. She sits down, and I can't help but notice her glancing at me every now and then. She seems to be stealing little looks, but I'm not sure if I'm just imagining it. Honestly, I'm kind of flustered, but trying to play it cool. We sit there for a while. I go back to working on my laptop. Every once in a while, I notice her looking my way, but it could just be me overthinking things. Start wondering if I should make a move or just let her be. After a bit, I get up to use the restroom. Before I leave, I ask her casually if she could watch my stuff for a second. Make a little joke, like don't steal anything, or something like that. She laughs, and I feel pretty good about it. She says sure, with a smile. Okay, maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe I've got a chance. I come back from the restroom and sit down again. Heart is beating a little faster now. I'm trying to gather the courage to say something. I've got this small window. I don't want to miss the opportunity. I've been using dating apps for a while, but it's been a while since I asked someone out in person. But the thought of asking her out feels different. There's something about the energy between us. I'm not sure what it is. I decide it's now or never. Take a deep breath, turn towards her. I say, so, would it be crazy to ask for your number and maybe take you out this weekend? Immediately, I feel my face get hot. I feel nervous but confident at the same time. She gives me a half smile, and I think for a second, maybe this is it. But then she looks back at her laptop, kind of turning her body away a little. She pauses for a second and then says, yeah, a little. My stomach drops. I try to keep cool, but my heart is racing now. She turns back to her computer and says something like, have a good one, without making eye contact. It hits me like a ton of bricks. That was it. I'm sitting there, feeling a mix of embarrassment and confusion. I just got rejected, hard. For a second, I just sit there, processing what just happened. I feel like I've been hit by a wave of awkwardness. She doesn't look back at me, doesn't give me any more signals or anything. I'm trying to process it. Did I misread the signals? Was she just being polite? Was she uncomfortable? But the reality is she didn't want to give me her number, and that's fine. I try to laugh it off internally, but I'm not sure how to feel about it. It was a bold move, but the rejection stings more than I thought it would. I go back to my laptop and just sit there, trying to focus. I feel like a little part of me just got deflated, and I can't help but dwell on it for a moment. But then I try to shake it off and think to myself, okay, you went for it, and that's something. It was actually kind of empowering, even though it was a failure. This is the first time in a while I've asked someone out face to face, and yeah, it didn't go as planned. But at least I did it. Over the next few minutes, I realized something. Rejection, even though it stings, is a part of life. I don't need to take it personally, and I can move on from this. I might have misread the situation, or maybe she wasn't interested, and that's totally okay. It's not a reflection of me as a person, it's just how things go sometimes. I start thinking about how many times I've seen other people take risks and get rejected, and how I've been there to support them. This is just one of those moments. I laugh to myself and try to focus on the rest of my day. But then I start thinking about how it could have gone differently. Honestly, it's been a while since I've done something like this. Dating apps are easy. You can message someone and get rejected through a screen. It's different. Asking someone out in person, putting yourself out there, is a whole other level of vulnerability. I think about how I've been in relationships before and how there were moments where I was nervous, but I kept going. This is just a bump in the road, a learning experience. I start to feel proud of myself for even taking the chance. It's a small step, but a step nonetheless. Anyways, I just wanted to share my experience. Wasn't expecting it to go this way, but it's good to get this off my chest. I've been on dating apps and doing fine, but face-to-face rejection is a whole new ballgame. I'm glad I at least tried. Be me, 23, just starting my career. Meet this incredible woman. We click instantly. Fall in love so quickly that it almost scares me, like I'm in a whirlwind. 3 months into our relationship, we're talking about moving in together. She drops a bombshell on me. Instead of renting, she suggests we buy a house together. My first thought is, WTF, we've been together for 3 months. I'm not even thinking about buying property, let alone with someone I haven't known for long. But she's so damn passionate about it. She's been researching the market, finding the right opportunities. She tells me about a foreclosed starter home that she's found, and she's really excited about it. Says she can't afford it alone, but if we both put money down, we can get it and start building equity instead of throwing money away on rent. It sounds crazy, but the way she explains it, it actually makes sense. I trust her, I love her, and something about it feels right, even though I'm scared as hell. I agree, we go for it. I put down $8,000, she puts down $12,000, and together we buy the place for $200,000. To be honest, I'm freaking out a little, but also kind of excited. Fast forward 9 months. After living together in the house for a while, we decide to get married. We're still so in love, everything feels perfect. 12 months later, we have our first kid. Life's moving fast. We've built a beautiful life together. The house becomes the place where we make memories, family dinners, lazy weekends, and the whole shebang. But we start outgrowing it. We need more space for our growing family. So we start thinking about upgrading. Instead of selling the house, we decide to keep it and rent it out. More work, but the rental income would help with childcare costs. which are already piling up. We find a bigger house, move into it, and rent out our first place. Over time, the rental income makes a huge difference in our finances. I can't even believe how smart that decision was. Life continues. We're both working hard, but now we have some breathing room. Our new house is bigger, and the rental place gives us enough extra income to make things easier. Everything's just clicking together. Fast forward a few years. The market's booming. We decide it might be the right time to sell the old place. We put it on the market, hoping we'll make a little profit. It sells for $385,000, $185,000 more than what we bought it for. My mind is blown. Like, holy shit, we made a huge profit, but it doesn't even feel real. I didn't realize at the time how big of a deal this was. All I can think about is how this was my wife's vision, her crazy idea that led to this. She was the one who pushed us to do it. We wouldn't have made this much money if she hadn't believed in it from the start. Look back at how it all happened. $200,000 house, bought by a 23-year-old and a 22-year-old. Fast forward to now, where we've built so much. A bigger house, a growing family, and $185,000 in our pockets. None of it would have happened if my wife hadn't believed in it so much. She is so unbelievably smart, and the way she sees things, it's like she has a sixth sense about investments in life. She made a plan, and it paid off big time. I seriously can't believe it sometimes. I'm in awe of her vision, her dedication, and her strength. Looking back, that decision could have been a huge disaster, but it turned into one of the best moves we ever made. We wouldn't be in this position without her. Honestly, I just feel so lucky. My wife is the reason we've built this amazing life together. I'm constantly amazed by her. She's not just my partner in life, she's a badass financial genius. Everything we have now, all of it, is because of her brilliance. I'm so proud of what we've built together, and I'll always be thankful for her crazy, incredible ideas. Be me, 43-year-old guy. Been working since I was 16, saved up every penny. Wanted to retire at 50, but life had other plans. Diagnosed with late-stage pancreatic cancer. I'm basically a dead man walking at this point. Accepted it, just trying to enjoy whatever time I have left. Start going over my affairs, because I know I don't have much time. Got about $2.5 million in net assets to my name. Life insurance, house, savings, everything is set. But here's the thing, I have no one to leave it to. No kids, never married, and I'm not exactly on good terms with my siblings. They've never really cared about me until now. The minute I got diagnosed, they suddenly want to be best friends. They didn't reach out until after I was told it's terminal, months after my diagnosis. If one of them had just reached out before, or even asked if I needed a ride to the hospital, I'd probably consider leaving them something. But nope, now they just want a piece of the pie because they think I'm about to kick the bucket. Have 6 nephews, but don't really know them that well. Met one when he was 7. He's 17 now, but he's turning into a mess like his parents. Don't trust him or his family to manage any money. Would just end up blowing it all on dumb shit. Also, don't want to leave him money only for my family to hound him for it. Don't want to put a target on his back. That's just not fair to him. The whole situation disgusts me. People are more concerned about what I'm going to do with my money than how I'm doing. Not one person has asked how I'm feeling or if I need anything, but they're all talking about what's mine when I'm gone. It's hard to trust anyone anymore. I don't want them handling any final requests I have, like scattering my ashes at the beach. They'd probably throw my ashes in the trash as soon as the check clears. Can't deal with it. Thought about leaving everything to charity or some organization, but nah. Don't want my money going to random people asking for handouts. If anyone's going to take it, it'll be the lawyers. I'll let them fight it out. Let the lawyers take the biggest cut. Probably won't even make it easy for anyone. Just let them deal with the mess. Maybe that's petty, but at this point, who cares? Just gonna let it be unresolved. Let the vultures squabble over it. No one's really earned it, and frankly, no one deserves it. Hope whatever's left goes to paying legal fees. It's all I have left to control at this point. Be me. Terminal cancer diagnosis. Doc says I've got 6 months with treatment, 3 months without. Treatment sounds like hell. Decide to ride it out on the express lane with as much morphine as I want. High as a kite every day. Chemo in Puke City. Got some decent money saved up. $500,000 in my pension. 2 life insurance policies worth $1 million each. No debt, no kids, no spouse. Originally left everything to my niece. Niece finds meth and becomes a full-blown tweaker. Not given $2.5 million to someone who'd blow it all on drugs and bad decisions. Update will to split it among family. Figured they'd appreciate me and my generosity in my final days. Lol, nope. Turns out they're all circling me like vultures, jockeying for cash before I'm even cold. Sister-in-law, SIL, is the worst. in massive debt, can't manage her finances, says she needs inheritance to save her family home. Overheard her saying she's planning to divorce my brother after. Scumbag detected. Other sister doesn't need the money, but would just use it to spoil her bratty kids even more. Younger sister is a total loser. Her kids are a mess. One of them is the meth head niece. Mom would probably give all the money to my siblings anyway. Aunt doesn't even want it. Told everyone they'd get a piece of the pie. They all believe it. Reality check. They're not getting constant family drama. They're bad-mouthing each other to my face. Openly fighting over my money. Like I'm not even in the room. Starting to think they don't give a damn about me. Just want to get paid. Decide to leave everything to charity. Specifically, Ukrainian kids in need. Family doesn't know yet. They think I'm some sweet, dying uncle. Secretly planning to nuke their expectations from orbit. Can't wait to see their faces when they realize. No inheritance for you. They'll have to fight each other over my vintage record collection instead. Dying without regrets. Feels good, man. Be me, 35F, married to amazing husband, 32M, for several years. We have a beautiful 5-year-old daughter, the light of our lives. Everything's been going great in our marriage, but recently I started feeling insecure about something. My friends made fun of me a few weeks ago. They were talking about how romantic my husband is and how he wins the romantic department by a huge margin. Like they couldn't believe how much better he is at it than I am. One of my friends went into detail about how my husband does so many romantic things compared to their husbands. Apparently, I'm the exact opposite of romantic. They scoffed when I even tried to say that I could be romantic too. One of them laughed and said, "Yeah, right." Feel super self-conscious about it. Never really thought about it before. Started wondering if they were right. Maybe I'm not romantic at all, and that's the problem in our marriage. For days I can't stop thinking about it, and it just eats me up inside. I'm at work one day, talking to a coworker who tells me about how his wife gave him flowers and how happy he was. That hit me. That's it. I can do that too, right? I'll get him flowers. Maybe it'll show him how much I appreciate him. I mean, he buys me flowers all the time. It's only fair I do the same. After work, I swing by the florist, feeling a little unsure but determined to do something nice. Pick out a beautiful bouquet, roses, lilies, and his favorite daisies. It's not the most expensive, but I know it'll make him smile. Drive home, kind of nervous, wondering how he'll react. Walk in the door, and he's sitting on the floor playing with our daughter. I hold out the flowers and say, "I was thinking about you today, so I got you these." He doesn't react right away. Then it hits me. He's crying, like really crying, tears streaming down his face. I'm shocked. Didn't expect that at all. I thought he'd be happy, maybe surprised or pleased. Not this. I ask him if he's okay and what's wrong. He looks at me, all teary-eyed, and says, I just didn't expect this. It means a lot." He thanks me through his tears, hugs me tightly. Then he starts running around the house looking for a vase. I'm standing there, holding the flowers, feeling a little confused. He keeps thanking me, telling me how much this means to him. I didn't think flowers would make him this emotional. He goes to our daughter, still crying, and tells her, "Mommy gave me flowers, can you believe it?" He hugs me again, and I'm still trying to process what's going on. Throughout the evening, he's still emotional. Randomly starts crying again 2 more times. Every time he looks at the flowers, tears well up in his eyes. I ask him if something else happened, maybe a bad day at work or anything stressful, but he says no. He says, "I'm just really happy, and I don't think you realize how much this means to me." I'm sitting there, feeling both confused and guilty. Guilty, because I never react that way when he buys me flowers. He's done so much for me over the years, and I barely show him any appreciation in return. Every time he surprises me with flowers or little romantic gestures, I just smile and thank him. But I've never felt that overwhelmed by it. Never felt like I was so emotionally moved by his gestures. Maybe I've been too caught up in the daily grind of life to realize just how much he's doing for me. He's the one who always remembers anniversaries, our birthdays, little special moments. He's always doing thoughtful things, big or small. Meanwhile, I don't even think to do the same. In fact, I didn't even realize how badly I've neglected that side of our relationship. Now I'm lying in bed, alone with my thoughts. I feel guilty, disappointed in myself. I love him more than anything. He's my world. He's the best husband, father, and friend I could ever ask for. Yet here I am, feeling like a bad wife. He's always the one being romantic, and I've just been complacent. My friends were right. I don't do enough. I don't even know how to react to something like this. How can I fix this? I've been so wrapped up in the routine of life that I didn't even think to show him how much he means to me. He deserves better than this. Should I talk to him about it? Tell him how I feel, how much I love him, and how I realize now I've taken him for granted. Or should I just quietly work on being better, showing him how much I appreciate him without making it a big deal? I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting here thinking about how he's the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I haven't been showing it. I just want him to know how much he means to me, but I'm not sure how to make up for all the time I've spent being too focused on everything else. He's always been there for me, and now I feel like I've let him down. I can't believe I've taken his love and effort for granted all these years. I need to show him that I'm just as invested, just as in love with him as he is with me. He deserves someone who can make him feel the way he makes me feel every day. Maybe I'll start with little things, like remembering his favorite snacks or planning a date night, but I'm still not sure if that will be enough to show him how much I really do love him. All I know now is that I need to make a change before it's too late. Be me, 35 female, married to Derek, 40 male, for 7 years. Derek has a daughter, Becca, 14 female, from his previous marriage to Sam, 38 female. Becca and I were extremely close, been in her life since she was 7. 4 weeks ago, Becca passed away. Absolute heartbreak for everyone. Derek and I have always had a great relationship with Sam, his ex-wife. There's never been any tension. Sam's always been kind to me. Becca used to call me Mom too, and Sam didn't mind. Right after Becca's passing, Sam was struggling so much with grief. She has no family nearby, just us, so we invited her to stay with us. She was devastated, had intense anxiety and depression, couldn't be alone. I told Sam that she could take her time, no pressure to leave. She mainly stayed in Becca's room, which made sense. She barely left the house, just slept a lot. I kept offering support, reminding her that I was here for her. Just wanted her to feel safe, no rush to go back to her place. Today I needed to run some errands. Told Sam I was heading out. Asked if she wanted to join me, but she declined, said she'd rest instead. Told Derek I'd be back in a couple of hours. Made sure to ask him to check on Sam every once in a while, maybe get her to eat something. Went to the post office, then realized I forgot my library book that I needed to return. Decided to head back home to grab it. Walk in the door. Immediately hear moaning coming from our bedroom. My heart drops. I know exactly what's going on. My mind is racing, completely crushed. At first I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to turn and walk out, pretend I didn't hear anything, but I decide I need answers, so I walk toward the bedroom. Open the door. I see them both in our bed, Derek and Sam. Panic mode sets in. I start yelling at them. Sam runs to the bathroom in a panic, having an anxiety attack. Derek is apologizing over and over again, saying it was a mistake. I ask him what the hell is going on. He starts explaining, saying that they made lunch together and started talking about Becca. They were just reminiscing, sharing memories. Sam kissed him and he didn't pull back. Next thing they're in our bed. I feel like the room is spinning, absolutely devastated. They both start begging me to understand. They keep saying it was just grief that led them to make this mistake, that it was a one-time thing and it didn't mean anything. They swear it's nothing like what we have. I am absolutely heartbroken beyond words. I love Derek and I love Sam, but they've just completely betrayed me. My trust, my love for them both, broken. I feel so stuck. I don't know what to do. I know I can't just pretend this didn't happen, but I don't know how to move forward. I'm in so much pain. I don't know how to process any of this. They're both asking for forgiveness, saying it was a mistake, but I can't stop thinking about the fact that they were in my bed. They knew this was wrong, but they did it anyway. They've put me in an impossible position. I love my husband. I don't want to lose him, but I feel like Sam is family too, and she's just betrayed me as well. I feel like my whole world is crashing down. I don't know how to look at either of them the same anymore. I'm broken, lost, and completely stuck. Be me, late 20s, early 30s guy, trying everything I can to find a meaningful relationship. Spent years working on myself. Solid job, decent salary, good education. Hit the gym hard for years. Now have a physique I'm proud of. Take care of my skin, dress well, stay clean and put together. Feel like I've done everything I can to max out my looks and value. But no matter how hard I try, I keep hitting the same wall. Rejection. Nearly 10 rejections in a row at this point. Losing count. Approach women with respect and genuine interest. Start by being friendly, building a connection. Don't come on too strong. Don't act creepy. Just try to vibe. As soon as I show romantic interest, it's like flipping a switch. They either friendzone me, ghost me, or reject me outright. It's the same pattern every single time. People give me all kinds of advice that feels useless. Just be confident. I am, but that doesn't seem to matter. You'll find someone when you least expect it. Been hearing this for years. Height and race don't matter. Starting to feel like that's a lie. Sure, I see short or brown guys in relationships, but it feels insanely rare. doesn't change the fact that it's way harder for guys like me. Example from a recent event: meet a girl, we hit it off. Good conversation, lots of laughing, feels like real chemistry. Get her number, ask her out politely and with confidence. She declines, doesn't even consider it, just says no. Think, okay, just bad luck, maybe she wasn't interested. Next week, 6'2" white guy friend talks to the same girl. He's not even trying that hard, just doing what I did. Now she's liking all his Instagram stories, flirting with him openly. Feels like I never even had a chance. Think back to my ex, who was toxic and abusive, constantly emasculated me for being short, belittled me during arguments, called me not a real man, and made fun of me for things I couldn't control. She's now dating a 6'2" guy. Can't say I'm surprised. Feels like no matter how much I work on myself, I'll never measure up. Have a few female friends, but that's not much better. They treat me like a little brother or just one of the girls. Can't help but notice they don't see me as a man, just someone harmless. Feels like I'm invisible to them in any romantic sense. Meanwhile, they gush over tall, confident guys who don't even try. Exhausted and bitter from the endless cycle. Rejection after rejection, watching other guys effortlessly succeed. Every time I put myself out there, it feels like a waste of energy. Can't help but notice the pattern. Height and race seem to matter more than people admit. Feels like a rigged game, and I'm playing on hard mode. Trying so hard not to fall into the red pill mindset. Don't want to become one of those bitter, resentful guys who hate women. Still want to believe in love, respect, and healthy relationships. But how do I keep that mindset when nothing seems to work? Don't want to hate women, but I'm losing hope. What else am I supposed to do? Be me. 24 male, engaged to 25 female, planning to marry soon. Fiancé and I have been together for a few years. Everything seemed fine. My grandpa's health has been declining rapidly. Decide to take some time off work to drive 18 hours to see him one last time. Took Tuesday through Sunday off. Planned on driving back in 2 stages, 12-hour drive, stay at a hotel, then another 6-hour drive home. Feel fine, don't need a hotel. Decide to just drive the 18 hours straight through. Figure I'll get home in the early hours of the morning so I can still get some sleep. Get back at 4 a.m. this morning. Think I'm just going to crash and sleep. Walk up to my house and notice music blasting from inside. Strange, fiancé is usually asleep by 1 or 2 a.m. and never plays music that loud at this time. Think maybe I'm just tired, but it's still odd. Open the front door and immediately hear the music louder. Walk into the bedroom. Jaw hits the floor. Fiancé is giving oral to a girl who looks like she's about 18 or 19. Not sure if it's a dream or if I'm hallucinating, but no, this is real. They both freeze when they see me. Fiancé's eyes go wide, then she immediately starts crying hysterically. I can't even process what I'm seeing. Feel like I'm going to throw up. Turn around and head back to my truck. Fiancé follows me outside butt naked. She's begging me to listen to her, but I can't even look at her right now. I didn't know she was into women, and now I have to see her doing this. Get into my truck, slam the door, drive to the local motel. Don't even know what to do with myself. Crash in the motel room, but I can't sleep. Feel like I'm in a nightmare. Wake up a few hours later. My phone is blowing up with texts, 18 million texts from my now ex-fiancé. Don't even want to look at them, but I check anyway. She's begging me to talk, apologizing, saying it's not what I think, all the usual crap. I feel numb, can't process any of it. Don't know what to do, don't know what to feel. Everything I thought I knew is shattered. Now writing this down to get it off my chest. Can't even look at the text right now. Don't even know where to go from here. My whole world just flipped upside down. She was everything I thought I wanted, but now I can't even look at her. Feel like I don't even know her anymore. Still in shock, don't know what's next. Just needed to share this because I don't even know how to deal with it. Be me, 34 male, married to 31 female for 11 years, stepdad to her 16-year-old daughter. Wife had her daughter at 15, doesn't know who the dad is. Bio dad dipped early. I always thought I'd hate kids, found them annoying and exhausting. Felt hard for my wife when we met. Married her when she was 20 and I was 23. Figured I'd just deal with having a stepdaughter as part of the package. Fast forward to the wedding and the start of life together, realised I was wrong. Stepdaughter was 5 when we got married. Turns out she's not like other kids. Quiet, nerdy, sweet, ended up bonding almost immediately, became thick as thieves. Started doing weekly daddy-daughter dates. Played dolls with her, let her paint my nails and do my makeup. Drove her to school in my cop car, which made me cool to all her classmates. Halloween became our favourite tradition. We always did matching costumes. Realised I loved being her dad, even though I wasn't her bio dad. Kids in general, still annoying. This kid, absolutely awesome. Over the years, watched her grow into an amazing teenager. Around 14, she started embracing a darker, quirkier style. Thinks of herself as some blend of a horror game protagonist and Monster High character. Loves ghosts, tarot cards, creepy dolls, and all things supernatural. Wears a lot of black and purple, dark makeup, Victorian-inspired jewelry. Always reading fantasy or occult novels, loves horror and mystery games. She's introverted but not a loner, has a solid group of friends she enjoys hanging out with. She's happy, kind, and comfortable with herself, so I'm all for it. Wife, on the other hand, is not all for it. Wife was the queen bee type in high school. Blonde highlights, pink everything, cheerleader, popular, always had a boyfriend. Basically a walking 2000s teen movie stereotype. Always envisioned her daughter following in her footsteps. Wanted a girly girl who loves pastels, is super social, and joins cheerleading or volleyball. Wanted a daughter she could bond with over makeup, boys, and trendy clothes. Reality, not what she expected. Wife tries to push her fantasy onto our daughter, constantly hides or throws out her darker room decor, buys her pastel dresses and trendy outfits she knows she won't wear, nags her about her dark makeup, tells her to tone it down, tries to set her up on dates with sporty boys from school, pushes her to join school activities like cheerleading or summer camps. Daughter has zero interest in any of this, and it's causing constant tension. Feel bad for both of them, but also annoyed at wife for not letting daughter be herself. Things come to a head a few weeks ago. Wake up in the middle of the night to wife having a full-blown meltdown. She's crying and yelling, pacing the hallway. Why can't she just like pink? Why does she have to be so weird? I wanted a daughter who's a cheerleader, who has a boyfriend, who's normal. I wanted grandkids one day. Why can't I have that? Meltdown goes on for 30 minutes straight. Try to calm her down, but she's inconsolable. Daughter comes out of her room and just stares at the scene, speechless. Finally have to drag wife into another room so daughter doesn't have to watch. Reason for the meltdown? Daughter dyed over the blonde streaks in her hair with purple. Wife had convinced her to get blonde streaks to brighten her look. We had no rules against hair dye. Wife and I both agreed daughter could do whatever she wanted with her hair. Wife sees this as some kind of ultimate betrayal. Meltdown drives a massive wedge between them. Wife hasn't let it go, doubles down on trying to fix daughter, brings home pastel clothes every day, tries to guilt daughter into wearing them, suggests more cheerleading tryouts and volleyball sign-ups, nags her about finding a boyfriend. Daughter is fed up and shuts down entirely, spends all day in her room to avoid her mom, confides in me that she can't wait for school to start again so she can leave the house, says she feels like her mom doesn't even like her for who she is. Stuck in the middle, don't know what to do. Wife feels like she's losing her dream of having a girly girl daughter. Daughter just wants to be herself and have her mom accept her. Don't want to take sides, but it's hard not to feel like wife is in the wrong here. Worried this is going to permanently damage their relationship. Don't know how to fix it, but I can't just sit here and let it keep happening. Need advice. How do I handle this? B22. Destroyed my life. Didn't go to uni because I failed the entrance exams. No vocational training either. After high school, I took a gap year to figure things out. Gap year turned into 4 years. Don't have a passion for anything. No direction in life. Just wasted time. Worked in retail to make enough money to travel. Traveled to 10 countries, which was fun at the time. Met people, but it was short-lived. Never made any real connections. Parents are fed up with me, rightfully so. Feel like a leash, constantly depending on them. Most of my classmates are already done with uni, have jobs, and are moving forward in life. Meanwhile, I'm still stuck here at zero. Humbling and embarrassing. Wasn't a bad student in school, just never cared enough to study. Didn't prepare properly for final exams. Thought I could coast through. Didn't realize how important they were. Don't remember much from school now. Not even sure I could study properly again. No community colleges here. The only way to study is to sit for exams. Feel stuck, no way forward. Wasted 4 years doing nothing, not even trying to improve. Rot in bed all day watching movies, reading books, playing video games. Anything to distract myself from how much I've wasted. Don't even have real friends anymore. Used to have a circle, but drifted apart over the years. Struggle to socialize now. Can't connect with people in the real world. Everything feels fake and shallow. Tried online communities, but they don't make up for the lack of face-to-face connection. Traveling was fun, gave me some good stories, but it felt like running away from my problems. Didn't solve anything. Didn't give me any real purpose. Feel useless and dumb. No courage to do anything. Too paralyzed by fear. Everything feels blurry. Can't see a way out. Been unemployed for a year. Going crazy with no structure. Depression has started to creep in. Every day feels the same, like I'm stuck in a loop. Don't know where to start, where to even begin. It's not like I don't want to improve, but I can't bring myself to try. Feel like a failure, like my life is slipping away. Don't think I can fix things at this point. Feel like I've wasted my youth completely. Never had any major ambitions, just went along with things. Don't think I'm particularly smart, maybe below average. Always struggled to grasp things quickly. Learning never came easy. Maybe I have ADH or something, but I don't know. Tried joining trades to do something, but it was a disaster. Hated it. Felt like I was dying inside. Nearly hurt myself there. Army isn't an option either, not where I live. Still trying to figure out what went wrong, but it's too late. Is there still time to fix my life? Have a friend group of around 16 people, 50-50 gender. We're all adults and everyone is super open about relationships and sex. About 5 girls and 3 guys in the group are single, not counting me. Everyone is cool with being friends with benefits, hooking up, or just having fun together. Open and accepting environment. But here's the thing, every time I show interest in anyone, I get rejected. No one is ever interested in me, no matter how much I try to get involved. It's fine, no one's obligated to sleep with me, but still, it hurts. My friends often help each other out, setting each other up when someone's in a dry spell. They talk about going to sex clubs and orgies, and it's all very casual for them. But when I express interest or ask if someone wants to sleep with me, the answer is always no. Recently had a party with the group. I'm standing there, watching my friends make out with each other, having a good time. Meanwhile, I'm still dealing with the aftermath of a traumatic event related to my lack of experience. Everyone's just casually hooking up with people they have no romantic interest in, while I get rejected again and again. I didn't want to bring the mood down, so I quietly left the party, went to a bedroom and just started crying. Cried harder than I ever have before, howling into a pillow. One friend eventually came in to check on me, asked what was wrong. I explained the situation and they were kind, offering comfort. Then I asked if it was because I was ugly or fat. They assured me that wasn't the case. They said they had been asking around the group but hadn't found anyone who clicked with me yet. They told me any girl would be lucky to have me, but I felt so low that I said, "Okay, have me, be lucky." They didn't have much to say after that, but were still kind and supportive. After that, I told them to leave and they did. I left the party shortly after, feeling worse than ever. Now I've been distancing myself from everyone for the sake of my mental health. Everyone is reaching out, trying to check on me, but I'm debating blocking all of them. Don't know what to do, don't want to deal with the hurt anymore. I know people might tell me to just lose weight and that will fix everything. I've been working hard on my weight loss and making good progress, but it doesn't take away the pain. Waiting for things to change only amplifies it. I'm really struggling with this. I don't know how to move past this feeling of being unwanted. Sometimes I feel like I'm just invisible even though I'm surrounded by people. Don't know if I should reach out or block everyone and disappear. It's all so exhausting and depressing. I just don't know what to do anymore. B37M recently hit millionaire milestone after committing 15 years to my career. Thought if I just focused on my future, everything else would fall into place. Man, was I wrong. Only thing I have now is my career. I've completely lost myself along the way, sitting alone in my apartment as the holiday weekend begins, watching the city come to life while I feel like I'm succumbing to the opposite force. Everyone else seems so alive, so connected to what truly matters. Friends are with their families. Most have small children. Everyone is consumed with their loved ones. I don't fit in anymore. Could go out on my own, but it doesn't sound appealing. All the effort of going out just seems exhausting. Gave up my hobbies years ago. Never had time for them. Don't even remember the last time I enjoyed something just for fun. My old passions no longer interest me. Can't find love. Some blame on me, but still feels like a gauntlet. The search for meaningful connections feels like an endless maze. Most women my age have baggage, kids, etc. Not exactly exciting. They have their own lives, their own responsibilities. I used to think I could find someone to share my life with, but now it feels impossible. Friends from my past look at me differently now that I'm successful. Resentment there. They're proud, but they're also bitter. Went to intense graduate school and postgrad training in my 20s and early 30s. Dedicated all my time to building my career. Grew apart from and lost touch with many good friends. They moved on, started families, built lives. I didn't make time for them, and now we're strangers. Used to be incredibly extroverted, could talk to anyone. Now small talk and interacting with people feels pointless. Can't even find the energy to engage in casual conversations. I've realized I can barely keep a conversation anymore. Interaction with people feels like a task, usually disappointing or unremarkable. The excitement of socializing is gone. I'm a shell of my former self. Don't have anything to offer anyone but money. and that feels worse than having no money at all. Money can't buy companionship, love, or fulfillment. Lost my humanity in my tireless journey for success. No worse poverty than that of connection. I've achieved everything I thought I wanted, but I've lost the things that matter. I hope this finds you well. Implore you to nurture your connections. Love your family and spouse. Don't take them for granted. Be present with the ones that matter. Don't let time slip away. Lean into your friendships. Build them. Keep them strong. There's no higher calling than to brighten the world of those you love. That's real wealth. In a world obsessed with status, achievement, and comparison, chasing these things will lead to a life of emptiness and regret. I learned this the hard way. Be thankful for what you have, for the people you love. It's the only currency that matters. When you're lying alone at the end of the day, all the money in the world won't matter. The real wealth is the connections you've nurtured, the love you've shared. Don't make the mistake I did. Don't wait until it's too late. Be me. Straight guy. All of my friends are also straight. Some of them are very attractive, like model level good looking. We don't party that often, but when we do, it's crazy. Every time we go out, it's insane how many girls come over to talk to my friends. The later the night gets, and the more alcohol that's consumed, the touchier and disrespectful the girls become. Girls getting drunk and coming up to my friends, touching them, dancing with them. End up with my friends explaining to random drunk girls to stop touching them, to leave them alone. They're all polite, but it's obvious the girls are disrespecting their space. Not all girls are like this, but a lot of them just start dancing with my attractive friends, hoping they'll make the first move. Meanwhile, I've never danced with a girl in my life. I'm always standing right next to my friends, just observing the situation. It's like I'm invisible. No one even looks at me. That will never happen to me. Used to beat myself up about not asking out hundreds of girls. Thought I needed to always be playing the numbers game, just going out all the time. Thought maybe if I just put myself out there enough, things would change. But then something happened at work. Saw coworkers who girls just walk up to and talk to. No game, no moves, just straight up walk up to them. I'm talking to a coworker and this girl just shows up. Stands by him until he starts talking to her. They chat the entire day, have a good time. Meanwhile, I'm standing there, walking away because the girl didn't even acknowledge me. This has happened several times now. I just watch it happen, and it's like I'm invisible to them. Every time it happens, it stings a little more. No matter how much I try, they're not interested in me. So now I've stopped beating myself up. I don't stress about always putting myself out there every free moment of every day. It's exhausting and pointless. Conclusion: girls make the first move, but they don't make the first move to me. They don't even notice me. Be me. Typical gamer girl who also likes anime and reading. Spend a lot of time in male-dominated spaces. You can probably guess where I'd meet incels and misogynists. First boyfriend when I'm 17. He's 23. Gamer too. At first he seems great. Empathetic, emotionally vulnerable, open about his struggles. Says he doesn't feel attractive or desirable. Think, wow, I can relate to this guy. Not even unattractive, just average. Relationship starts out amazing. He's loving, giving, and attentive. Feel like I struck gold. After a few months, butterflies fade. Cracks start to show. He doesn't handle boundaries or no very well. Every fight goes the same way. Me, you're doing something I don't like. Him, you hurt my feelings. Have more empathy for me. His emotions always take center stage. My boundaries, irrelevant. Overarching theme, his insecurity as a man. Would get upset if we didn't split finances exactly 50-50. You're taking advantage of me. Reminder, I was still in school and he had a job. Didn't want to cuddle one night? You're distancing yourself from me. What's wrong with me? Better than him at gaming. You're embarrassing me in front of my buddies. Talk back to him? You don't respect my life experience. Every issue boiled down to his fragile masculinity. Also obsessed with how I looked. You should wear more makeup. Dress more feminine. Never go unshaven. Long hair is better. Grow it out. Constantly made comments about how he wouldn't date someone unattractive or overweight. I was supposed to look amazing, but if I brought this up, you act like I'm an asshole. I do so much for you. You're delusional. Emotionally needy to the extreme. We constantly had to talk about his feelings. I don't feel like you treat me well enough. When I shared my feelings, instant fight. He'd push me to empathize with him, but couldn't handle hearing about my emotions. He always had to have it worse. I had a tough life too, but it didn't matter. My life is shittier than yours. Be grateful. No sympathy for me, but I had to give endless reassurance to him. Eventually things escalated. Became physically abusive. Why? You hurt me by not cuddling with me at night. Said his aggression was my fault. I wouldn't get so mad if you didn't make me feel this way. Suggested therapy for his aggression. He agrees, but only if we do couples therapy. We need to work on this together. You're causing my emotions. Refuse, leave him. Be me, 26-year-old female. HIV positive. Never thought this would be my life. Got it the first time I ever had sex. Thought I was being smart, cautious, responsible. Made the guy get tested before we did anything. He told me he'd been with 8 girls before me. Looking back, should have known he was pulling that number out of thin air. Still, I wasn't going to take any chances. Pushed for him to get a full STD panel. Told him I wouldn't do anything otherwise. He agreed. We both thought we were in the clear. Doctor does the tests, sits us down afterward and says everything's fine, except it wasn't fine. Find out later he only tested for 2 STDs. Why? Because he's not gay, so he doesn't need an HIV test. What? Boyfriend even specifically asked for a full panel. Doctor ignored him. Straight up assumed there was no risk. HIV's a gay disease, right? Spoiler, it's not. Months later, I get tested. Positive for HIV. World shatters in an instant. First time I'd ever trusted someone like that, and this is what happens. Sued the doctor for his negligence. It wasn't just my life he messed with, it was our lives. Surprisingly won the case. Small comfort when you're living with the consequences forever. Start treatment immediately. Turns out modern medicine is a miracle. As long as I take my meds, the virus is undetectable. Doctor explains that undetectable means untransmittable. Basically means I cannot give HIV to a partner. Zero risk of transmission. Science is wild, huh? But still, dating with HIV, it's a different game entirely. Tell myself I'll just be upfront about it. Don't want to lie. Don't want to hide anything. Some guys take it better than others. 2 guys I dated didn't see it as a deal breaker. They got it. They asked questions I answered. So there's no risk at all? Yep, as long as I take my meds. We moved on. Relationships didn't work out for completely unrelated reasons. Felt nice to be treated like a normal person though. Then I dated a guy I really liked. Months go by. Everything's great. He made me laugh. I felt safe with him. Started thinking, maybe this is it. One day he sits me down, looking all serious. Says he can't do it. HIV is too much for him to handle. Heart breaks into a million pieces. He leaves, I cry. But I get it. People have their limits. Been single for a while now. Still hopeful, but cautious. Dating apps are a whole other nightmare. Can't just put HIV in your bio without people ghosting or worse. Some guys hear HIV and treat me like I'm radioactive. Get DMs like, why don't you just date someone who already has it? Thanks, dude. Super helpful. Friends say, you'll find the right one someday. Hope they're right, but it's hard not to feel jaded. Just want someone who sees me for me. Not for a virus that doesn't even define my life anymore. Curious what others think. Would you date someone in my position? I'm not looking for pity, just honest answers. Been dealt a shitty hand, but I'm making the best of it. Trying to navigate this life the same way anyone else does. Still hopeful. There's someone out there who won't see me as damaged goods. Until then, just gotta keep moving forward. B25. Never had a girlfriend. Extremely ashamed of it. Thought it was never going to change. Felt like it was impossible. Spent a lot of time reading internet dating advice. Followed the rules and tips to get a girlfriend. All it did was make me more frustrated. Kept hearing how I needed to become more confident and never show weakness. Thought I had to change everything about myself to find someone. Then, one day, met an amazing girl. Clicked with her instantly. Felt like we just fit. Now a month into our relationship, still can't believe it. She's amazing. We have similar interests. Both have a very fucked up sense of humor. Laughing with her feels so natural, like we just get each other. Having a conversation with her is so effortless. We just talk about anything and everything. She's kind, understanding, and non-judgmental. I can be myself around her without fear of judgment. The funny thing is, I didn't have to do anything to make her like me. Didn't have to play games. Didn't need to pretend to be someone I'm not. Everything just happened on its own. No forced tricks or advice. Did the exact opposite of what the internet told me to do. Started out as friends, which supposedly makes women lose interest. Friend zone is a death sentence, right? Well, not for us. Didn't become a super confident guy before dating her. Even told her about my struggles with self-esteem. Should have made her repulsed, but it didn't. Didn't get more mainstream hobbies. Didn't try to change who I am. Didn't even change my style to fit some societal norm. She loves me for who I am, flaws and all. Didn't try to become more dominant. Didn't try to act alpha. In fact, she tells me she loves how gentle and caring I am. We communicate openly. No games, no pretending. Honestly, I'm so glad I didn't listen to the internet advice. Sure, I might have found a girlfriend faster if I did, but it wouldn't have been the right one. I would have been with someone who liked a version of me that wasn't real. Now I'm with someone who genuinely likes me for who I really am. I'm so happy, and I finally feel like I'm enough. Maybe it's time to touch grass, stop letting the internet tell me how to live. Real connections don't come from following a list of rules. They come from being genuine, honest, and letting things happen naturally. Be me, pharmacist. Worked for a chain pharmacy for a while, doing my job, living my life. Then, a few months ago, my store shuts down. They tell me they're transferring me to another location. Okay, cool. I'll just keep working, no big deal. But then they tell me, oh, the other location is closing too, so there's no position for you. Confused but not panicking yet, because they assured me they'd find a spot for me somewhere. A couple weeks go by and nothing happens. No transfer, no position opening up, no communication from them. I get a call saying, sorry, we're not able to help right now. I figure it's just a matter of time until I find something else. Maybe it's not ideal, but hey, I've got some savings, right? But here's where it gets weird. 2 weeks go by and I get my usual paycheck deposited into my account. At first, I think it's just leftover PTO. It makes sense, right? They probably paid me out for unused vacation time. But then the next paycheck comes in, and the next one. It keeps happening. Every 2 weeks, like clockwork, I'm getting my full salary deposited into my account. That's when I start thinking, this can't be right. Why am I still getting paid when I don't even work there anymore? I wait a little longer. I start researching. I know it's not like I'm actively working for the company anymore. They promised to transfer me, but they never did. So technically, I haven't been doing any work for them. Is this legal? After a month, I've collected around $30,000. That's a lot of money for not doing anything. I figure it's only a matter of time before they realize the mistake and stop paying me. Maybe they've just overlooked it. Maybe they don't even know. Maybe they've been paying me by mistake and haven't figured it out yet. Now I'm starting to panic. Am I going to get in trouble for this? Will they come after me for this money? Is this technically stealing if I don't report it? Should I reach out and tell them what's going on? Or is it better to just wait and see if they catch the mistake on their own? Decide to keep the money in my high-yield savings account. I don't want to touch it, just in case they ask for it back. I don't want to risk spending it and then having to pay it back with interest or legal fees. I'm not sure what the consequences would be if I spent it and they found out later. I'd probably look like I'm trying to hide it. But every 2 weeks, the money keeps showing up. I've now been paid over $40,000 since I stopped working for them. I'm starting to feel guilty, even though I didn't ask for this. Part of me thinks, hey, I worked for this company for years, so I deserve this. But another part of me feels like I'm living in some sort of weird loophole. I keep telling myself it'll stop eventually, but it doesn't. I think about what would happen if they do realize the mistake. Would they ask for all the money back? Would I have to pay taxes on it? Would they send me a 1099 or something? Could they sue me for it, claiming I've been receiving unearned wages? I start calling a lawyer to get advice, but then I feel embarrassed. What if I'm the only one who's in this situation? What if I've done something wrong and I'm the last to know? I don't want to look stupid for not catching this earlier. I just keep imagining them showing up at my door one day saying, you owe us $40,000. So I keep the money in the savings account. It's earning interest, but I don't touch it. Every 2 weeks, I get that paycheck notification on my phone. I just stare at it and wonder how long this is going to go on. I don't know if they're going to notice or if they already have. I don't know if I'm supposed to reach out or just wait for them to fix it. I'm just trying not to spend it, but it's hard not to feel like I should do something about it. Maybe they're just waiting for me to notice and then I can return the money without any drama. But what if they don't realize? What if they never catch on? I'm stuck in this weird limbo, just trying to figure out the best course of action. Should I contact them? Should I just let it play out? I just want to do the right thing, but I'm not sure what that is. Has anyone else been in a similar situation? How did you handle it? Still getting paid, still don't know what to do. Be me. Meet girlfriend through my best mate. Let's call him Dave. Dave introduces me to his friend group. I join it. Friend group has 8 people, including my now ex-girlfriend Emma. We're all friends for a while. I like Emma. Find out she likes me too. Ask her out. She says yes. We start dating. Everything seems perfect. Nearly 3 years together. Happiest I've ever been. No arguments, no problems. Felt like a perfect relationship. I'm convinced she's the one. Decide I'm going to propose on our 3-year anniversary. Tell Dave first. He's really happy for me. Want it to be special, like those perfect proposals you see on YouTube. Plan to do it on a beach, something memorable. Need help from the friend group to make it perfect. Arrange to meet them all, excluding Emma. Sit them down and tell them I'm planning to propose. Expect excitement and happiness like Dave showed. Instead, they all look at each other silently. Something's off. I can feel it. Ask them what's wrong. They all say nothing and pretend to be happy for me. Ask again, and one of the girls blurts it out. Emma has been sleeping with Mike since you started dating. Mike is one of the guys in the group. They all start giggling like it's some kind of joke. Laugh it off at first, think it's a prank. Look at Mike. He just says, "I'm sorry." It hits me. This isn't a joke. They were serious. After a minute, I storm out. Can't handle being there any longer. Would have caused a scene if I stayed. Dave follows me out, says he had no idea. Believe him. Still believe him now. He lets me crash at his place to process everything. Keep away from everyone, just trying to think straight. Emma finds out I know and starts blowing up my phone. She even shows up at Dave's place. Dave says he hasn't seen me and sends her away. Dave decides to meet with the group to figure out what actually happened. He comes back and tells me everything. Emma started sleeping with Mike 3 months into our relationship. It wasn't a one-time thing. Happened multiple times a month for the entire 2 years we were together. She told all the girls in the group. Eventually, everyone knew except me and Dave. No one cared. No one told me. They only said something because I was going to propose. If I didn't plan that, I still wouldn't know. Thought these people were my friends. Spent almost all my free time with them. They were basically family to me. Now Emma and Mike are together. The whole group still hangs out like nothing happened. They post stories and pictures on social media all the time. They even tag me sometimes, probably just to rub it in. Don't block them because I don't want them to know they're getting to me. Obviously not friends with any of them anymore. Dave cuts them all off too because of what they did. Lost the girl I thought would be my wife. Lost the people I thought were my friends. Gained a real friend in Dave though, so there's that. Months later, it still hurts. Still think about it all the time. Want to cry so bad, but gotta keep the no-cry streak going. Lol. When the hell am I gonna get over this? Feels like something straight out of a sad movie plot. 0 out of 10 life experience. Do not recommend. Be me. Going through a lot of shit recently. Life's been crap. Really struggling, but never opened up about my mental health or feelings before. Never trusted anyone enough to talk about it. Just bottled everything up for years. Eventually, it all became too much. Needed to talk to someone. Couldn't handle it anymore. Girlfriend notices I'm not happy. Keeps asking me what's wrong. Thinks I'm upset with her. Decide to talk to her about everything. Sit down. Spill my heart out. Just needed someone to listen. She doesn't say much. Just listens, which is what I wanted. Feel a bit relieved, like maybe things will get better. Everything seems fine at first. Next day, she's acting off with me. I ask her if something's wrong. She says she's not feeling well. Wasn't sure what was going on, but thought maybe she just needed space. Day after that, she breaks up with me. Completely out of the blue. No real explanation. Feels like I got hit by a truck. Had no idea why. Completely blindsided. Now life's even more shit than before. That was a week ago. Feeling worse than I did before. Everything is falling apart. Few hours ago, mutual friend tells me why she broke up with me. Seeing him cry was such a turn-off. She didn't know I was weak. Apparently she and her friends were making fun of me. They were all laughing about it. I can't believe it. Felt like I was punched in the gut. Literally have no one to talk to now. The one person I felt comfortable enough with dumped me and started talking shit about me. We were together for just over 2 years. I honestly didn't know she was like this. I trusted her more than anyone, but I guess I was wrong. First time I cried in 10 years. Thought I was making progress. Thought she would be there for me. But now it's like everything I feared. Vulnerability just makes people turn away. She's out there talking about how weak I am. 0 out of 10 do not recommend. Feel completely empty now. No idea who I can turn to or if I ever want to trust again. Everything feels like a cruel joke. Be me. High school life is a constant cycle of school, games, and occasional hanging out with friends. No parties, no dates, no romantic attention. Sure, got a couple of female friends, but they never saw me as anything more. You're like a brother to me. Hear about other guys who somehow have girlfriends. Even the awkward dudes are pulling. Think to myself, I'll get my turn eventually, right? It's just a phase, right? Months pass. Years pass. Still no progress. Try to convince myself it's no big deal. Relationships are overrated anyway. I'll focus on myself. I'm just waiting for the right person. Deep down, know it's all copium. Junior year, start noticing how far behind I am compared to everyone else. Classmates openly talk about their relationships. Yeah, Me and my girlfriend were at the park yesterday. Bro, she's so into me, it's insane. Even overhear some guys bragging about losing their virginity. Feel like I'm in a completely different world. Can't relate to any of it. Senior year. Prom season hits like a truck. Everyone's pairing up. Dudes asking girls out in cute or over-the-top ways. Even the quiet guys are stepping up. Me? No one even crosses my mind to ask. Already know the answer would be a pity no. Prom night. See everyone posting pictures on social media. Couples smiling, dancing, holding hands. Some of my friends went as a group, but I didn't even bother. Stayed home playing games and pretending it didn't bother me. But it did. Graduate high school. Still a virgin. Still never had a girlfriend. No experience, no lessons learned, nothing. Everyone says, college will be better. Try to believe them, but deep down, know the truth is not going to magically fix itself. Summer after high school. Spend most of it at home. See people my age posting about their relationships, beach trips with their significant other, cute anniversary posts, even casual hookups seem effortless for them. Can't even imagine someone wanting me like that. Into college. Fresh start, right? Wrong. Everyone here already knows what they're doing. Most people had relationships in high school. They're confident, experienced, and know how to flirt. Me? Still clueless, awkward, and inexperienced. Try to talk to girls. Feel like I'm speaking a different language. Either come off too stiff or too weird. Every conversation dies after a couple of texts. Even the rare time I get a match on a dating app, it goes nowhere. You're nice, but I'm just not feeling it. Realize the harsh truth. Past 20, women have zero patience for inexperience. They've already dealt with guys who know how to flirt, communicate, and make them feel special. Why would they settle for someone who doesn't even know the basics? They expect you to already have game. If you fumble, you're done. One mistake, and it's over. Say something awkward. Ghosted. Touch her hand at the wrong time. She's creeped out. Don't kiss her at the right moment. You're friend zoned. Zero margin for error. Feels like everyone else is playing on easy mode. They've been learning since middle school or high school. They've had years of practice. Every failed relationship taught them something. Every rejection made them stronger. Meanwhile, I'm starting from scratch with no help. Society doesn't care about late bloomers. If you're inexperienced past 20, people assume there's something wrong with you. Why hasn't anyone wanted him before? Must be some kind of weirdo. They don't say it out loud, but you can see it in their reactions. Friends and family don't help either. Just be yourself. You'll find someone when the time is right. Feel like they're mocking me without realizing it. Meanwhile, they're all in happy relationships or married. Every rejection reinforces the same thought. You're not good enough. You never were. You're too far behind to catch up. You'll never be able to compete. The worst part, no one cares about your struggles. Women don't want to teach you. They want someone who already knows. Even if you're trying to learn, no one gives you the chance. Feels like you missed the boat entirely. High school was supposed to be the time to learn and grow. Now you're just stuck watching everyone else live the life you wanted. That feel with no hope. Be me. 23-year-old female, living the Gen Z life. Notice something weird. None of the guys I know are dating. Like absolutely none. These aren't incel weirdos either. Known them since high school. Well-educated, nice, respectful dudes. Most of them are liberal, or at least progressive. Not basement trolls screaming about female nature on Reddit. But still, zero dating. No relationships, no situationships, no casual hookups, nada. Start thinking back. High school. All of us awkward but normal. Girls crushing on boys, boys crushing on girls. Literally no one actually did anything though. Whole lot of staring across classrooms and deeming memes. Maybe if I send her the 37th SpongeBob meme, she'll know I like her. Boys were too scared to ask girls out. Girls didn't want to seem too forward. Everyone just chilling in emotional purgatory. Fast forward to college years. Think everyone would level up, but no. Same energy, new setting. See guys I know liking every Instagram pic of some girl, but never actually saying hi to her in person. What if she thinks I'm a creep, bro? They're liking pics from 2 years ago. Don't realize that's creep behavior. Most of them throw themselves into school or hobbies instead. Focus on yourself, king energy. The hobbies are wild though. One dude becomes obsessed with the gym, like 6 days a week minimum. Looks like a Greek statue. Still no girlfriend. Doesn't even try. Says he doesn't want to bother women. Bro, you're built like Hercules. Pretty sure women want to be bothered by you. Another guy learns 4 languages, joins a chess club, and picks up piano. Renaissance man. Surely women must be falling at his feet, right? Nope. I don't want to get rejected. You speak fluent French, my guy. Just say bonjour and let the magic happen. There's the gamer guy. Spends all his free time playing League or Elden Ring. Convinced girls don't like him because he's not interesting. Realize most of these guys aren't single because they hate women or because they're lazy. They're single because they're terrified. Rejection, soul crushing. Even a simple no thanks makes them spiral. Also, they're scared of being seen as creepy. Some of them overcorrect to the point of being invisible. One guy told me he avoids sitting next to women on public transport. I don't want her to think I'm weird. Bro, she's probably just trying to listen to her podcast. Honestly feel bad for them. Society puts so much pressure on men to be confident and take the lead, but also to not overstep boundaries and respect women. Impossible combo. They're short-circuiting. Some give up entirely and say, I'll just wait for a girl to ask me out. Spoiler alert, most girls don't ask them out. Not because we don't like them, but because we're just as scared of rejection as they are. Another theory, they don't think they're worth dating. Guy will have a stable job, nice personality, and cool hobbies, but still be like, I'm not tall enough, or I don't make enough money yet. They set these impossible standards for themselves, like they have to be a Marvel superhero before they even deserve a date. Talk to one of my guy friends about it. Me, why don't you try dating? Him, it's not worth it. Confused Pikachu dig deeper. Turns out he had one bad experience where he asked a girl out and she rejected him. She wasn't even mean about it, but he's still haunted by it years later. Some of them have seen their friends go through breakups. What's the point of dating if I'm just going to get hurt? Think they're dodging pain by avoiding relationships entirely. Joke's on them though. Loneliness hurts too, my dudes. Final personal theory, no one knows how to date anymore. Gen Z collectively skipped the dating 101 class. We're all socially awkward because we grew up texting and Snapchatting. Don't know how to flirt in person. What do I even say to her? Bro, you just talk like a normal human being. Think about how wild this all is. So many nice, funny, talented guys who are just sitting on the sidelines, wasting their best years. We could be in relationships. We could be going on cute coffee dates. And we could be walking around art museums together. But no, we're all too scared to make a move. Meanwhile, the boomers and Gen X are out here marrying strangers they met at a bar once. It's sad because I genuinely believe these guys would make great boyfriends. And they want to date. They just don't know how to start. Rejection scares them. Being labeled creepy scares them. Not living up to expectations scares them. So they just opt out of the whole thing entirely. And we all just sit here, watching Netflix, complaining about how no one's dating. Welcome to Gen Z dating culture, where everyone likes each other, but no one actually does anything about it. 10 out of 10 modern romance experience would not recommend. Be me, 25 years old. Been dating my girlfriend for 3 years. She's amazing. We've been living together for a while now. Yesterday, we're sitting together planning out some tasks for the week. We're using her computer. She opens up the Notes app. We start brainstorming things to do for the week. She has a list of ideas open. Looks like a typical to-do list. Then I notice another note called Conversations. Curious, I click on it. It's a long list of conversation topics. Things like, what's your favorite childhood memory? Zrania, if you could visit any country, where would you go? Logically, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you? A bunch of random, but really interesting stuff. Seems like topics I totally want to talk about. There are even some things that I'm really passionate about, like a couple of tech topics and some hobbies I've mentioned before. I'm genuinely impressed. I think to myself, wow, she's been thinking about how to make our conversations better. Just a note of all the things we could talk about, keeping track of things to bond over. This woman is seriously the sweetest. I can't believe she's been doing this for a while. It's so thoughtful and cute, I can't even. I laugh and show her the list. She instantly gets embarrassed. You weren't supposed to see that, she says, blushing. She looks like she wants to die of embarrassment. I just smile and tease her a bit. Aw, you're so cute. I used to do that when I had a crush in middle school. It's so innocent, but so heartwarming at the same time. I can't help but feel so loved. Here we are, 25 years old, and she's making notes to make sure we have meaningful conversations. I almost tear up, honestly. I don't know why, but the effort she puts into making sure I'm happy is just incredible. It's not just the big things, it's these little things that show how much she cares. She still gets shy, even though we've been together for so long. It's just for fun, she says, but I know it's a little more than that. It's like she's still trying to win my heart, even after all this time. I reassure her that it's the sweetest thing ever. Feel so lucky to have someone who thinks about me so much. I'm in awe of her. Can't wait to talk about all those things on the list. We both laugh and she playfully tells me to stop teasing her. It's just one of those moments where I realize how deeply we care for each other. I feel so loved, so appreciated. Seriously, I don't know how I got so lucky. Be me, 26. Family dinner at parents' house. Usual awkward small talk and catching up. Little brother, 22, introverted, hasn't had a girlfriend yet. Sister, 24, married. They start arguing, like usual. Sister, shut up. You're 22 and never even kissed a girl. That's honestly sad. Brother goes bright red, clearly embarrassed, doesn't say anything back. Sister laughs, keeps rubbing it in, treating him like a loser in front of everyone. Getting sick of it. Been biting my tongue for too long. Sister's the one who should be embarrassed. My face when I know she was the easy girl in college. Heard all the stories from mutual friends. Even saw some texts on my friend's phone. Constantly sneaking dudes into her dorm, throwing wild parties. Had a reputation for being easy. Everyone knew it. One night, even walked into a party where she was passed out drunk on the couch. Couldn't let it slide anymore. Me. Really, sis? You're gonna mock him when you've been with half your college before you met your husband. Table goes dead silent. Everyone just staring at me like I dropped a nuclear bomb. Sister's face goes pale as she tries to process what I just said. Her husband is sitting right next to her. Looks like he's in total shock. Him. What the hell is he talking about? Voice shaking with anger. Sister stumbles over her words, trying to deny it. Can't let it slide now. Start dropping some names, dates, and even places. Mention the frat parties, the dorms, the time she hooked up with that guy in the library. Brother's sitting there quietly, but there's a small smirk creeping up on his face. Parents are mortified. Mom's jaw on the floor. Sister starts breaking down, crying, trying to deny it, but everyone can tell it's true. Her husband stands up, face pure rage, pushes his chair back so hard it almost falls over. Him. Is this true? You've been lying to me this whole time. Sister keeps crying, stumbles over her words trying to explain, but it's too late. Her husband storms out without saying another word, slams the door behind him. Sister bolts after him, trying to stop him, but he's gone. The whole house is silent. Dinner completely ruined. Mom starts tearing up. Dad's just staring into space, trying to process. I just wrecked her marriage in front of the entire family, but she had it coming. Don't throw stones when your past is as dirty as the streets you walked. Saw a sign the other day, advertising a job paying up to $14 an hour. First thought was ludicrous. You couldn't even afford to keep working for that much in this economy. You'd have to live at home with your parents for that much. I make right around $70,000 per year, and it's just enough to be stable. I can afford my rent, car problems, groceries, bills, utilities, insurance, and any knickknacks I need to buy. Also have enough for seasonal stuff like Christmas shopping and birthday gifts for family. After all that, I manage to save a little bit each month, but it's not like I'm saving for retirement or anything big. Just putting away a few $100 each month if I'm lucky. Rent prices are by far the craziest on the list. It's hard to find anything decent for under $1,000 per month, and I live in one of the lowest cost of living cities in the United States. The only things under $1,000 are rundown apartments in bad neighborhoods. Anything decent in a decent neighborhood will set you back at least $1,200 to $1,500 per month. It's a struggle just to find something that doesn't look like a dump. Groceries come in next, easily at about $1,000 a month if you include going out occasionally. Depends on how much you eat, but that's an average. Even with meal prepping, it's hard to keep costs down. I could probably cut it down to around $600 per month if I strictly ate only what I bought at the store. But that would mean absolutely zero fast food, no grabbing a burger with friends, no late night snacks. I'd be cooking everything, every day, and even then it wouldn't leave much room for variety. I've tried to cut back on eating out, but it's hard. Going out with friends or grabbing a quick bite while running errands adds up quickly. Sometimes I just don't want to cook after a long day at work, but it's always a gamble between convenience and budget. Some weeks I look at my bank account and think, how did I even spend this much? Other weeks, I try to stretch every dollar and feel like I'm barely making it. Other bills start adding up quickly after that. Utilities, car insurance, phone bill, streaming services, and random expenses. All the little things that just keep piling up. Car maintenance is a big one too. Anything from oil changes to unexpected repairs. I'm lucky I don't have any major issues with my car right now, but I know that could change at any moment. Add on my internet bill, and I'm already looking at over $2,000 per month for basic living expenses. It feels like there's no room to breathe, even with $70,000 per year. After rent, utilities, groceries, and insurance, there's barely anything left. I don't get how people manage with less. Some people are still barely making ends meet on $40,000 to $50,000 per year. It feels like they must be constantly in debt or borrowing from family just to get by. Meanwhile, I'm here feeling like I'm just getting by and hoping things don't go wrong. I can't imagine the stress they must be under, especially without any major financial help. The pressure of living paycheck to paycheck must be brutal. How do people even afford things like healthcare, car repairs, or unexpected costs if they're making less than $70,000? I feel fortunate to not be struggling too much, but I can't shake the feeling that even at $70,000, I'm just one emergency away from financial ruin. Honestly, I'm grateful I make what I do, but it doesn't feel like enough sometimes, especially with how expensive everything is. I try to live frugally and be smart about my spending, but the cost of living just keeps rising. At this rate, I don't know how anyone making less than $70,000 survives without being constantly stressed or overworked. I can't imagine living on anything less than $70,000, especially in this economy. It's just not sustainable, and I don't see how things will get any better unless wages rise or prices come down, neither of which seems likely. It really makes me appreciate the little things I have and the work I've put in to get to this point. But the thought of not being able to make ends meet if I lost my job or something went wrong is always in the back of my mind. At the end of the day, it's hard not to feel like everyone's struggling in this economy, no matter how much they make. I don't know how people are making it on less than $70,000, but I'm trying to stay positive and stay afloat for now. Here, an interesting statistic yesterday. Gender gap between men and women in college is bigger now than in the 1970s. Title IX was introduced back then to boost women's college enrollment. Now men are the ones falling behind, but nobody seems to care. Bring it up in conversations and you're either ignored or called a red pill or incel freak. Work at a university. 2 out of every 3 students here are women. Campus has a gender equity office, entirely focused on women's issues. Recruiting, supporting, and retaining women is their whole mission. Nothing in place to help male students. Attend meetings where graduation rates and DFW, drop, fail, withdraw stats are discussed. When men's higher DFW rates or lower graduation rates in a major are brought up, dismissed as a statistical anomaly or something not worth addressing. It'll sort itself out. If it were women struggling in the same way, it'd be a campus-wide emergency. Resources would be allocated immediately. Start to wonder why nobody cares. Men are clearly falling behind in higher education. Graduation rates are low, admissions are dropping, and the trend is getting worse. No programs, no initiatives, no campaigns to help them, but endless focus on supporting and uplifting women. Try to bring up these issues with colleagues, get brushed off or subtly mocked. Apparently caring about men's educational outcomes makes you a red pill freak. People either laugh it off or act like you're part of some fringe group. Just want some balance in the conversation. Not asking to take away support from women, just wondering why men's struggles don't matter. Feels like it's taboo to even acknowledge the problem. Watch the gap grow wider and wider while everyone ignores it. My aunt passed away suddenly back in January. It was a huge shock to everyone in the family. Can't talk to anyone about what's happening, not even my siblings, aunts, uncles or cousins. My dad is the only one who knows anything because he's the executor of her will. Last week we finally got access to all her financial records. Come to find out, I'm the sole beneficiary of her IRA. Didn't expect anything like this at all. It's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, a completely life-changing amount of money. My aunt was unmarried, didn't have kids, and didn't leave much behind except her condo. No other family members are listed on any of her accounts or assets. Dad explained the plan for the rest of the estate. He's going to sell her belongings and the condo. Proceeds will be split up equally among the family. Made it crystal clear that the IRA is mine alone. Said no one else in the family needs to know about it. Dad admitted he's not a financial expert. Beyond telling me the IRA is mine, he doesn't have advice on what to do. I'm on my own figuring out how to handle this kind of money. Feeling completely overwhelmed by it all. Can't tell my siblings, aunts, uncles or cousins without risking major family drama. Know that if they found out, it could destroy relationships for good. But not being able to talk to anyone is making it so much harder to process. This is an incredible opportunity, no doubt. A chance to really secure my future. But it's also a huge responsibility, and I have no idea what the right steps are, balancing the excitement of what this could mean with the fear of screwing it all up. No one prepares you for something like this. It feels like a blessing and a curse at the same time. Be me, 29 female, living in Seattle, make $47,000 a year. Boyfriend of 10 years makes $115,000 a year. Have been splitting all bills 50-50 for years. Only exception, I get a $37 per week discount for doing an extra hour of house cleaning. He says it's fair because we split remaining chores evenly. Rent is $1,600 per month for my half after a $150 monthly cleaning discount. Living here is financially irresponsible for me. but he insists on staying in Seattle. Seattle works for him, high-paying tech job, family and friends nearby. Doesn't work for me. I have no friends here. Family is states away. Been relying on food banks to afford rent and necessities. Meanwhile, he spends hundreds every month on gym memberships and other luxuries. He gets to live comfortably. I'm constantly stressed about money. Asked him if we could split expenses proportionally so we can both live similar lifestyles. He said no, said it wouldn't be fair. Why should I just give you my money? Claims he earns more because he works harder and has a more stressful job. Asked him hypothetically, if he made $300,000 a year, would I still have to pay half? He says yes without hesitation. Says he'd just save the extra money to retire early. Doesn't feel obligated to help me. Recently moved into an apartment he hated after a month. He insisted on breaking the lease early and moving again. I didn't love the place either, but I told him I couldn't afford the several $1,000s it would cost to break the lease and move. He said it didn't matter, he couldn't stand living there. Forced the move and is still making me pay half the costs of breaking the lease and moving. Feeling more and more like he's treating me like a roommate, not a partner. It's not just about the money, it's the lack of compromise or support. Been wanting to marry him for years, but every year he says no. Says he doesn't want to get married and won't change his mind. Starting to feel like we're on totally different pages in life. Been together a decade, yet I feel like I'm in this relationship alone. Questioning if this is what a good partnership is supposed to look like. My face when I'm starting to realize it isn't. Be me 23 years old, feeling like I'm on top of the world. Worked so hard to get here, always with a clear goal in mind. Work out every day, in good shape, healthy. Graduated college, got a solid career, making good money. Feeling stable, like everything's falling into place. My entire life, I've been focused on one thing. Being a good man, good husband, good father. It's all I've ever wanted. Since high school, I've been with this one girl. 6 years together. No cheating, no problems, never once doubted it. We were perfect, or at least I thought we were. No drama, no doubts, just us building towards the future. We talked about moving in together, getting married, having kids. She was the one I thought I was going to spend my life with. I was so set on her, everything was in place. I didn't need to think about anything else. Life was planned out. Move in, get married, have kids, grow old together. That was the dream. But then everything changed. She came to me one day and said she wanted space. She wanted freedom, to explore, to find herself. Wait, what? We've been together for 6 years and now she wants to explore. Where did this come from? Why couldn't she have told me this before we got so far? Why couldn't she have decided she wanted freedom a year ago, or 2 years ago, or before we started talking about marriage? She said she needed time to figure out who she was outside of me, outside of us. But we were already building this life together. Wasn't that enough? I've always been fully invested in us and making sure we had the future we both wanted. But she was suddenly unsure, like everything we built was just a part of the past. We were supposed to have it all figured out. Now here I am, shattered. She broke up with me a few months ago, and I can't make sense of it. I can't understand why she couldn't have come to me sooner if she had doubts. Why she waited until we were this deep, this close to the future we planned. I'm just, lost. Now I have to start from square one. Everyone tells me I'm still young, that I have plenty of time to find someone else, to start over. But it doesn't feel like that at all. I wanted kids by 28. I was ready for that part of my life. Now it feels like I've lost all the time I thought I had. I wanted to build a family, make memories, grow old with someone who shared the same dreams. Now I have to find someone new. How am I supposed to trust someone again after all of this? It feels like all the plans, all the dreams we had, have been ripped away. And now I'm left here, wondering where everything went wrong. Everything I've worked for, everything I've built, feels like it was all for nothing. She was supposed to be the one I spent the rest of my life with. Now I have to start from scratch, figure it all out again. Maybe I'm not supposed to feel this way, but I do. It feels like my whole world has been flipped upside down, and I have no idea what to do next. Sigh. I don't even know why I'm writing all this out. Maybe I just need to get it off my chest. Thank you for listening to this, even if it doesn't make sense. Me cheated on my wife last summer. Been spiraling in depression for years. Everything felt like it was falling apart. Started blaming everyone around me, especially my wife. She didn't deserve it, but I couldn't see past my own mess. My colleague at work was there for me, understanding, warm. She cared, something I hadn't felt at home in a while. The attention from her felt good, like someone actually understood me. Eventually I gave in and cheated. The guilt hit me hard. It was crippling. Finally tell my wife the truth. Can't hold it in anymore. She's in shock, doesn't know how to react. But once it's all out, she tells me it's over between us. No yelling, no tears, no begging. She just calmly accepts it. We have 2 daughters together. This is breaking everything. My colleague, like everyone else, started losing interest in me gradually. About 2 weeks ago, she broke things off with me. She's done with me too, just like my wife. Now I'm alone, full of regret, spiraling deeper. This Sunday, I drop my girls off at their mother's. First Christmas I don't spend with them. My wife looks happy and content. Realize she's been the bright light in my depression this whole time. She's always been there for me, and I blamed her for everything, all because I liked the attention from someone else. She asks me how I'm doing, says I look depressed. Can't tell her the truth, just say I'm fine. Tell her it feels weird not being with the girls for Christmas. Tell her my relationship with my colleague is over. Her expression doesn't change. She's calm. She doesn't gloat, doesn't get angry, just says, well, you could always tell her that we're back together if you want a relationship with her. Her voice is so calm, so sure. It stuns me. When I get home, I try it. Not because I want to be with my colleague, I just want to know why my wife said that. I text my colleague, tell her I want to try again. Since then, she's been sending me dozens of texts. They're warm, flirtatious, asking if I miss her and if I have time to meet. But I don't want her. I'm just lost in the mess I've created. I threw my life away for something pointless, destroyed everything I had for someone who didn't care. Now my wife is moving on and I don't know how to fix it. This is what I deserve. Still, the guilt and regret eat me up inside. Can't stop thinking about how I ruined it all. How could I have been so stupid? Be me, 30 years old, spinal cord injury from a car accident in September 2021, T-boned by someone running a stop sign. Doctors say I'll probably never walk again. Spend months in the hospital recovering. A year and a half later, I can walk with a walker. Sometimes use a cane, but it's still tough. One of the worst parts, can't get an erection anymore. Damaged spine, no therapy works, likely never will. Feel like a failure, especially for my wife. She's been incredible through all of this. She was pregnant when my crash happened and still cared for me. She's a total sweetheart, the best person I could ask for, but I know she needs more than I can offer now. We tried coping with toys and other things, but it wasn't enough. By 2023, she confides in me that it's taking a toll on her. She's always been a hypersexual person. Not being able to have actual sex is affecting her mental health. I understand, but I still feel horrible about it. Talk for a long time about what we could do. Finally decide to let her have a hall pass. Find a consistent and long-term partner. He must be drug and disease free with proof. He must be respectful of me and our situation. He must wear a condom. She finds someone earlier this year. They have a situation for about 3 months. Then she moves on to another guy over the summer. He's been her friends with benefits ever since. He comes over about every other weekend or once a month if we're too busy. He's really respectful to me. It's not a bad setup at all. Mostly business when he's over. He doesn't stay long. They go to the guest bedroom, have sex, and he's gone within 30 minutes usually. Sometimes he stays for dinner, and we all have a friendly relationship. It works better than I expected. Feel weird sharing this, but it feels good to get it off my chest. Never told anyone before. Not here to be roasted. I'm just happy to see my beautiful wife find some pleasure again. I think I am done with my marriage. Be me, grad student working on a tight budget. Get invited to a prestigious international conference on the other side of the world. Institute fully funds the trip since I'm still a student, but I don't have much extra money for anything else. Travel takes over 24 hours, long-haul flights, layovers, and a 3-hour cab ride from the airport to home. Reach out to husband before leaving for home. Ask if there are any leftovers since I'll be starving. I ate everything, but don't worry, I'll either heat something up for you or cook when you get back. Sounds promising. Maybe he's stepping up finally. Reach home at midnight, completely drained but excited to be back. Been away for a week, looking forward to reconnecting and sharing stories. Also brought back thoughtful goodies for him, things I know he wanted, plus chocolates and little surprises. All within a strict budget since we're saving for a house, but I put in effort to make it special. Walk in and get barely any reaction. No welcome back, no how was your trip, not even a you must be exhausted. Doesn't ask if I'm hungry or offer to help with my bags. Decide to stay optimistic and start unpacking gifts. Takes maybe 15 minutes to show him everything, thoughtful souvenirs and treats from the trip. He barely acknowledges them. No excitement, just a blank oh. Try not to let it get to me. Head to the bathroom to take a shower. As I'm about to step in, he casually announces he's going to bed. What about my dinner? You said you'd make something. You wasted time opening gifts. I need to sleep because I have a doctor's appointment in the morning. Shocked. Stand there speechless while he brushes me off and heads to bed. take a long shower to calm down, fighting tears the whole time, exhausted, starving, and now feeling completely unappreciated. Get out of the shower to find him already snoring in bed. Decide to make myself instant ramen because there's nothing else to eat. Sit alone in the kitchen at 1 a.m, slurping noodles and thinking about everything. Remember all the times I woke up early to cook him breakfast when he had early appointments. All the late nights I stayed up to prepare hot meals for him when he worked late. Every little thing I've done to make him feel cared for, even when I was tired or busy. Meanwhile, he couldn't even heat up leftovers or wait 15 minutes to see if I was okay after a grueling trip. Sit there realizing it's not just this one incident, it's a pattern. The lack of effort, the indifference, the one-sidedness of our relationship. It feels like he doesn't even care anymore, like I'm just an afterthought to him. Devastated. Can't sleep that night, staring at the ceiling, wondering how we got here. Part of me wants to believe things can change, but another part knows this level of disregard is damaging. Feel like I'm at the breaking point. Is this even a marriage anymore? Be me, happily married woman. Been with my husband for years. Things are good financially. We're comfortable. He's a successful investor in old buildings. Life is going fine. No major problems. Have a young neighbour, a girl who's 16 years younger than me. She lives with her grandma. They barely make ends meet. Grandma is old and takes care of a sick relative, but they just scrape by. They live in a luxurious flat, but can't afford the bills. Young woman has a major crush on my husband, I can tell. Try to talk to him about it, express my concerns. He assures me it's nothing, says he ignores her. If she crosses the line, I'll tell her. He promises. Husband does well financially, buys old buildings, fixes them up, sells them. He's always working on projects, takes the young woman with him sometimes. She says she's passionate about historical buildings, so he indulges her. Eventually she falls pregnant. Never ask who the father is, but we decide to help her out financially. Both agree to send her some money to help with the child. Things are tense, but we're doing what we can to be supportive. They move out of their flat a year ago, sell it to get a fresh start. Fast forward to last week. Get a phone call from the grandma, and she's crying when she hears my voice. Tells me the truth. The child is actually my husband's daughter. He's been acting like a father on his rare visits. When the girl started to talk, she started calling him Daddy. They got scared and moved away to avoid the truth coming out. Grandma says the young woman feels guilty for everything. She's been avoiding me because she's scared of what I might do. I show up at her workplace to confront her. She sees me and runs away to the back of the restaurant. I just want answers, but she's terrified. Realized that all the money I was sending them for a year, she accepted it, even though my husband was secretly sending her €1,500 per month just for the child. Confront my husband when he gets home from jogging. No denial, no explanation. He admits to the affair, says the child is his. He did a paternity test, and it's true. He apologizes, but it's too late. Feel utterly lost, devastated. Every insecurity I've ever had comes rushing to the surface. I always compared myself to her, the young woman who is always so beautiful. She's everything I'm not. Slim, young, radiant. And my husband, tall and lean, had an affair with her. I've gained weight over the years, feel unattractive, a total failure. Feel like I've been living a lie this whole time. Everything I believed in, everything I worked for in this relationship, shattered. I feel like a clown, a joke to everyone, especially myself. Can't even look at my reflection anymore without feeling disgusted. I want to dig a hole, crawl in, and never come out. Betrayed, humiliated, broken beyond repair. Where do I even go from here? Be me, 25 years old male, been with my ex, 25 years old female, for 10 years. 2 of those engaged high school sweethearts. Thought we'd be together forever. We were each other's best friend, or at least I thought so. Went through a lot together. Pushed each other to achieve our dreams. Got our degrees. Moved to the city, excited for the next chapter in our lives. Things were good for about 5 months. Then everything changed. We both got into attending raves or electronic dance music shows together. We had both partied a lot in the past, some casual drug use, but we kept it in check. I always had a mental line, never went overboard with partying. She, on the other hand, sometimes blurred that line. She had an addictive personality, had some unresolved issues from her past. Sometimes she'd turn into that crazy party girl, but she was also extremely smart, hardworking, and creative. I loved how sweet, funny, and kind she was. I never tried to control her behavior. I wanted her to live her life and have fun. We were young. I thought she'd get it out of her system eventually. One night, we met this guy, a friend of a friend at a rave. About a month later, things started to feel off. She was acting differently, more independent, started working out randomly, posting more pictures, talking about him a lot. I felt like she was pulling away, so I started asking questions. Took me a whole week to get the truth out of her. Turns out she cheated on me with him. I felt like the ground was ripped out from under me. She immediately moved on with him. I was a mess, but I had to leave. Hard to walk away from someone you thought you'd spend your life with. Hardest decision I've ever had to make. It's been 5 months since, and I'm still healing, still processing. At first, she was kind of sad about us breaking up for about 3 days, but after that, she just buried it all under partying, drinking, and doing drugs. She went all in on this new guy, and they started living that lifestyle together. Friends and family say they don't even recognize the person she's become. I don't recognize her either. She's completely changed. She doesn't even work in her field anymore. She's been working as a server, and from what I hear, she hasn't even been looking for work. I'm not sure what happened, but she's gone off the deep end. She's always doing cocaine, and apparently she keeps a bag of ketamine around. She even takes small doses of it before going to sleep. I heard from someone she crashed her car into his car, almost got arrested 3 times, and all of this happened on Christmas Day, of all days. She calls me up crying, saying she messed up with him, says she wants me to take in our cat because she doesn't want to go back to her apartment. I'm sitting there, trying to process it all, especially considering it's Christmas. She's all sad, crying about how miserable she is, yet she refuses to do anything about it. She knows his life is destroying her, but she won't let go of him. She wants to be with him, no matter how badly it's hurting her. A year ago, we were celebrating Christmas with her family, talking about our future. Now she's telling me she messed everything up, and it's just sad. I'm not angry anymore, not even jealous. I'm just really missing my best friend, the person I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Feels like that part of me is gone, just ripped away so suddenly. I think about all those memories we made, all the good times we had, and now she's living a life that's completely foreign to me. It feels like I'm watching her spiral lower and lower, and I can't do anything about it. I know people say, no contact, but we were together for over a third of my life. It's not easy to just cut someone like that out of your life. There's still a small part of me that wants her to wake up, to realize what she's doing to herself, but not because I want to be with her again. I let that unrealistic dream go a while ago. I just want her to be happy and healthy, whatever that looks like for her. Maybe a little validation would be nice, but at this point, I just want to see her live a life that doesn't revolve around partying and him. I've been going to therapy for a few months now, slowly but surely starting to feel better. Found some new hobbies, things that make me feel like I'm living for myself again. Got a solid support group of friends and family who have been there for me. They're the reason I've been able to keep going. They've really helped me keep my head above water. I'm learning to live alone again, learning to love myself again. The journey's been long, and some days feel like I'll never get over it, but I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It still hurts, though. Sometimes I'll catch myself thinking about her, remembering the good times, but then I remind myself that I'm better off without all the chaos. I want her to get better, but that's out of my hands now. I'm just taking it one day at a time, and slowly I'm starting to heal.